Well, hey everyone, and welcome. I'm your friend Art of Mana, and let's dive into this 388th stream, where I am continuing on with the Mario Kart franchise and playing Mario Kart Super Circuit, which is a game for the Game Boy Advance that I actually did not play when it was new. I actually didn't even realize it was a thing until years later. So I started playing the Mario Kart franchise with Super Mario Kart. I played so much of Mario Kart 64, but a little bit of my video gaming history is near the end of the N64's life, I started to realize I had played a lot of video games, and it was starting to kind of even get to that point where I recognized when it was unhealthy. Like, I wanted to play video games all the time, and I started to realize that. My parents, of course, realized that, and so we all kind of did this, like, technology fast. Obviously, this was before smartphones and everything, but it was much the same thing that you see today, and we decided to just take a break for a summer. We were gonna not watch TV or play video games, and I did that, and I realized I was okay with not playing video games. So much so that I actually went beyond that summer and went a year without playing any video games. And even at one point, kind of as time went on, considered selling off my collection. Needless to say, I'm glad I did not. But I'm also really grateful for the opportunity to have actually set back and considered how to better balance video gaming in my life. And I think that's an important thing. So all of this is to say that essentially the Game Boy Advance and GameCube era was lost on me. I missed out on it until the Wii and DS came out, and I was able to explore those video games. And so it's a little bit funny because I have this little bit of a gap in my knowledge, because this wasn't something I really lived through, this GBA and GameCube era. I will say also that I never really played a lot of handheld games to begin with. Actually, my Nintendo handheld video gaming didn't really start until the DS, I would say. Because before that, I did have a Game Boy Color, but I really only played Link's Awakening and Harvest Moon on there, and Kirby on there. But that was it. Those were the only 3 games I had. I didn't play them a whole heck of a lot, and I got that pretty late as well, actually pretty soon before the GBA came out. So, Mandarin Bread says, a year without video games, I'd die. Well, you know, I'll tell you, the thing was, I remember especially when my parents would tell me, like, I remember this vividly, okay, this was a link to the past. I remember one time, my parents saying, okay, you know, it's time for bed, you know, we're all going to bed, and I was like, yeah. And I remember going to bed, but then thinking, I kind of want to play some more Link to the Past. And so I snuck down to the TV and played more, and they were kind of like, they knew it and woke up, and they would like walk to the room, but I would like quickly like shut everything down and like go to my room and everything. And they knew it, they were on to me. And so eventually I did get caught that night, and that's when I kind of knew, I'm like, all right, like, this is too much. But, you know, it makes for some good stories. I think, Dash Magnum, you're here too. And Mike Tron, welcome on in. Dash, I think I've shared this with you before too. But in my watching of Xena, Warrior Princess, and Hercules, The Legendary Journeys, I did that. Actually, that one I did get away with. But I did this in a very sneaky way. A CRT television I still have to this day. A small RCA. It's a white television, tube television, or CRT television, and it was my great-grandmother's, and we eventually got it, put it in a closet, as something like probably I would get, but not right away, because my parents didn't want a TV in my room. But I knew it was there, and so what I used to do is I would take that literally, this thing weighed a ton. It was probably about I think it's probably maybe like a 12-inch TV. Like, it's really pretty small by today's standards, but it weighed a bunch. I would carry it over into my room, I'd set it all up, I'd put the rabbit ears up, I'd do the whole thing, and I'd watch, the block of Xena and Hercules, and I'd put blankets. I'd make like a little blanket fort. I'd put blankets over the TV. I'd have it on the other side of my bed so no light would get through, and I'd just kind of like get in there and I'd watch my shows, and yeah, I was being sneaky. Oh ho, sneaky Mana, Dash says. But those were the days, we did those sorts of things, right? Ninja Mana, Mandarin says. But we did those sorts of things because, you couldn't just watch on your phone or your iPad. You had to literally carry this big CRT television to your room and hook everything up. I remember I also didn't always get the best reception either, but those campy shows, Batman, Adam West Batman, Hercules, Xena, I love those campy shows. So Mandarin says Mana had a good childhood, and I am definitely going to agree with that. I did. I really did. I still do. Dash says, it sounds like me reading Star Wars books under the blanket with a flashlight. I did that too. That and Lord of the Rings. I remember the first time I ever finished the Lord of the Rings as a series. It must have been it felt like 2 or 3 in the morning. It probably was like midnight or something, but it was later than I usually stayed up at the time. And I remember that was like, it added to the drama and it added to the emotion of it. I just remember afterwards just sitting there and just being like, oh my goodness. Can't believe what I just read. But Star Wars books, yeah, oh my gosh, I used to check out Star Wars books by the bucketful at our library, and I'd bring them back and I would just stack them on my desk. And I didn't follow any kind of order. Sometimes I would read one and I kind of get to a dull point. You know how some of the books are very fantasy, space fantasy. Some are very technical, kind of sci-fi. Some are kind of like military stories and all kinds of things. And so eventually I'd reach a point or a book where I'd be like, this is a bit of a trudge. So I would go to the next one. I'd start the next one, see if it was better, and I'd bounce between the two. And I don't know how I didn't get more confused in the storylines. I mean, I did get confused, but I don't know how I didn't get more confused. So Sam, welcome on in, hearing about the days, trademark, indeed. Mandarin says, they should make glow-in-the-dark ink so you don't need a flashlight to read books at nighttime. That'd be pretty sweet. Although what is it called? The paper light or paperweight? I can't remember. Paperlight? The Kindle. Ms. Man has one, and it's really nice. It's actually very easy to read at night with the e-ink. And I read all of the Hunger Games series on one of those just because we had them on there, and I felt like, why not? I'll give it a go. And it was awesome. So, and Dash says, ha, same, I got them as I found them too, usually at the library. Well, that's it. Yeah, I would just, every time I saw one. But man, I remember my most excited moment was realizing that they existed in the first place. And it was Showdown at Center Point. And I found it as my family and I we were setting out on a camping trip. These are memories with Mana right now. We were setting out on a camping trip, and we went to, it was called a Raise. It was like a little supermarket. And they had their little book and magazine section with all their trade paperbacks.
Months of friendship. Less than three.
Jenny, thank you so much. Yay! And that will bring me to another thing real quick in just a moment. But I'm going to finish this and then thank you properly, Jenny, by saying that in this Ray's magazine and book paperback section, I saw it was all the romance novels and everything. And then all of a sudden it caught my eye. It was Han Solo standing there with the orange background. By Drew Struzan, something like that. I forget the artist. Incredible artist. All the movie posters and everything. Great book covers. Anyway, Dash will correct me, I'm sure. But that was when I first discovered that there were novels. And of course, I picked it up and it was I was reading in the middle of, I think it's the third book in a trilogy that's already years after Return of the Jedi. And so all of these things that happened that they're referring to, and I'm like, what? That happened? Oh, that's so cool. And then I read it all out of order. But when I got to Courtship of Princess Leia, I was the most excited. That was the moment I was most excited for reading Star Wars novels. Anyway, moving onward, Ginny, thank you so much. 17 months. It's more than 17 months of friendship, but 17 months of subscribing, Ginny. That's outrageous, and thank you. And you'll notice, actually, a few of you have some fancy sub badges. I finally have some sub badges. So some things are changing up around here. So you'll notice Mandarin Bread there with the purple mana potion, and Dash and Ginny with the gold mana potion. Different bottles, different containers. They all look a little bit different. So we've got a purple for starting out. We've got green for 3 months. We've got blue. The blue one looks a lot like my current Mana Splash emote. So that's what the 6 month looks like. Very similar to that. And then we've got the gold there for a year plus. And so that's just a little something. You can all see what that all looks like. It's kind of neat. I'm pretty pleased with how that turned out, I'd say. And I'm gonna just check what it looks like on mobile, because I actually haven't seen it on mobile yet. Yeah, I'd say that looks pretty good. I'm impressed. Looks like Poison Mandarin says. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm not gonna... I mean, they're meant to be mana potions, or grape juice, right? They're meant to be different mana potions. The idea being that, yeah, you know, different manamons are involved in the making of these various mana potions, and for Menagic and all that good stuff. Anyway, I'll incorporate it into the lore more with my bot as time goes. But I am looking at making the Art of M Heart and Art of M Splash tier 1 level emotes, but I haven't figured out if I delete them, like, because it says I can't add it because it already exists, but then I'm afraid if I delete it I can't give the name back. I'm not sure how it works. If anyone can advise me, that'd be helpful, because I think what I need to do is just delete it and then re-upload it as tier 1 with the same name, but I'm afraid I'll lose the name, so that's all I want to confirm. So that's coming. And then actually I have a few ideas for emotes, and since Ginny's here, I'm just gonna throw this out there. Ginny, I've actually been thinking about approaching you for a commission for an emote or 2, so, or 3 or 4 or 5 or 20. So bear that in mind. All right, my friends, you're gonna see a blue button today. Wah! There we go. This is the controller I'm using today, because, as you probably know, right? We are playing. We're actually playing through the Mario Kart franchise. Yes, that's what we're doing, right? that's what we're doing. We are playing through the Mario Kart franchise, and I am playing on a Game Boy Advance player, which I'm really excited about, because this is actually a device I got from Bob, who's playing Secret of Mana with me. I bought it from him, so it's his, and it's black like my GameCube, so it's great. And then I have the white controllers. I like my GameCube setup. When I finally did get one, and I got my GameCube for $5. They were just giving them away at one point, but I like it. I'm happy with it, and I've got a great setup here. And I think you'll see. I think you'll see a pretty cool something. Are we ready for this? I'm ready for this. Let's show it off. Ready? Oh yeah! Look at that! Look at that! Oh, I think it looks great. I'm so excited. Doesn't that look fantastic, everyone? Oh, I'm so excited. I think that's fantastic. So, Dash says, nice. Ginny says, that looks so cool. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Minister Frollo League, hey there. Welcome on in. Yeah, this, I made this completely by myself. The whole Game Boy Advance is a custom piece of artwork I did. And I'm really proud of how this one turned out. I think it looks good, and I think that this really captures what playing on the Game Boy Advance, looks like. So, Mario Kart Super Circuit, everyone. Oh yeah, that's what we're diving into. But first, Dash says my first Star Wars novel was Splinter of the Mind's Eye in a discount rack of a place we stopped on the way to Boy Scout camping trip. Shortly thereafter, I got Heir to the Empire as a birthday present. Oh my goodness, that's fantastic. Two good ones to start with. Now, actually, technically, I did read the novelization of the first movie before that. My parents and my uncle had bought copies, and I inherited a copy at some point. And actually, the original soundtrack on record, so that was something. So I did read that before, but the first of the sort of extended universe, if you will, post, because then I ended up getting like the Lando series and the Han Solo series. Anyways, all kinds of stuff. I'm geeking out. It's true, Mandarin Bread. Okay, so let me show you. I'm gonna pull up this command here, special, so you can see. I missed this third entry in the Mario Kart franchise and only just got around to playing it. Let's find out if I think it holds up or if it's deserving of being somewhat forgotten. Here's the thing. I just bought this, as I told you. I never owned it. I only got it like a week or so ago. And I wanted to at least unlock everything so I could play all of the courses for you today. And thankfully, that is what I have done. I haven't gotten everything in here, but at least you'll be able to see all of the tracks, and that's really what I'm going for. So, you'll first note that this has 50cc, 100cc, 150cc, no mirror tracks, interestingly enough. And I think because I've been playing this now, and it just so happened that because Kuro couldn't play Pokemon tonight, and Baby Mano was upset, and it took me away from things, and I wasn't getting ready for stuff. It just so happened I was able to do this. I even banged my hand, so if I don't play well, it's because I knocked my hand into the little latch part of the door and kind of cut my knuckle. Anyway, all this to say, I'm winging it, but I thought, you know what? I've been playing this for about a week, trying to unlock stuff. I think I feel ready to play it through tonight. I think I'm even going to go 150cc for the first courses. So you choose a character here, and what I've discovered is Toad is by far the easiest to control, shortly followed by Peach, I found. Linwell Lady, hello! Welcome! I also think Yoshi is pretty easy to control. Mario and Luigi, similar. They're kind of your average builds, but I find that they start getting a little bit more difficult to handle. And these three, oh my goodness. Don't even talk to me about these three. I don't even know. So, to start, I've been having the best luck with Peach. I'm going to start with Peach. No, you know what? No. I'm going to give it to you. Who will I begin the game with? What should I start with? And yeah, I'm really pleased with how this is all looking. I think this is good. Dash says the three troublemakers, right? DK, Wario, and Bowser. Come on. They're the troublemakers in the franchise and in the karting world. Linwell is saying Yoshi. Mandarin says random, but Linwell spoke first with Yoshi, so here we go. I'm going to start with Yoshi today. So the first thing you'll note is that these are all of the cups right here listed. I guess this is the second thing you'll note, since I already said the first thing you'll note. The second thing you'll note is that they're all the cups here, but it also does say push the L or R button to choose extra tracks. Now, those are the things I had to unlock. I will explain those more later, but I want to go through all of the courses for you today. So let's begin with Mushroom Cup. You'll also note that there is a ranking system here. It does have the 3-star ranking system, and I believe this is the first it is the first Mario Kart game to feature the 3-star ranking system. It goes 3 stars, 2 stars, 1 star, A, B, C, and D. So it may even go to E, but I can't remember. Anyway, I think I've gotten a couple of Ds. All right, so you can do a speed boost if you time it right now. Yeah, I did it. I did it right. Now, oh gosh, I'm going fast. There are coins in this, but I don't think, oh, I'm all over the road. I don't think the coins in this particular version speed you up as much as they are required for unlocking extra cups and increasing your score and your ranking towards that 3-star goal. You'll note I also just got a bonus boost because if you do about a 90-degree turn, actually, yeah, about 90 degrees. If you do about a 90-degree turn with a full slide with your typical jump button combination, then you'll be able to. Oh gosh, this is a little more challenging with the controller than it is on the GBA, but if you do it right, you'll get a little boost if you basically pull out of your turn and just stay straight. If you adjust at all, though, you lose. And look at that, second place. Not too bad. I'll take it for a start. Spyro, hello, welcome on in. So yeah, the coins are basically for your ranking system, and I haven't noticed an improvement in speed. You start out, I think, with 5 or something like that, and then you can get upwards of 30, 40 sometimes in a track. It does depend on the track, on how easy it is to find it, but that's the thing. And Chrono, hello, welcome, welcome. All kinds of fun people here today. Linwell, how are you doing? I got my boost again. Now, I am going to try and get those. Oh, that is water, but you can glide a little over it. Oh, let's try and get Peach. Oh, you can also, just like in the N64 title, you can pull out of a, like one of those little pre-spin losing control animations by tapping the brake button. But I didn't quite get out of that one and I landed in the water. But that was all for demonstrating how to do this, right? That's why I did it. There is another kind of advanced technique by using the brake along with the accelerator to do a really sharp turn. But I found that with the oh shoot, I should have had that behind me. With the easier to control with the easier to control characters, I find just using the hop button to be more than adequate, so I don't really do anything. But look at Yoshi's head is turning all over the place. Man, it's just everywhere. But you know, I mean, you can tell this is the evolution of the Super Nintendo game, right? Wormholes, they love me, Chrono says. I think it's a running gag that I get attacked by one here. It's so true, Chrono. It's so true. What was on the other end? Chrono got knocked out by the wormhole. Oh my gosh. But he wanted it, so, you know, there's that. So far you can see that this is a lot like, you know, the Koopa Beaches that you would see in the first game. I don't think it uses anything like Mode 7. I don't think that there was anything quite like Mode 7. I'm not sure. The technology between the GBA and the Super Nintendo are similar. But you can tell that Nintendo took some ideas from Mario Kart 64, and dropped it in this particular game. I think the sprites are pretty reminiscent of the N64 game, yet obviously the courses are very much like the Super Nintendo game. Jenna, hello, welcome, and Dash says, lol, floppy head Yoshi. Frollo says, quite well, hope you can say the same. I can. Baby Mana was in and out of a grumpy day, but I've had a full weekend, a really long weekend, and so I actually had today off, and most of it was spent recuperating, and also decorating a cloth bag with baby mana with markers. It was quite fun. And Dash is still trying to find the novelization of Star Wars. Was it the novelization, the original one, The Adventures of Luke Skywalker, or something else that you're looking for? Kronos says, I am just glad I got out of that world. Yeah, 3 of those in a row. I'll take it. Okay, this one gets a little bit trickier. You can see the placement of the coins in this one. They're trying to kind of route you, but it's not always that doable. I mean, like, I don't know, they put the coins in strategic places, let's put it that way. They know that, you know, you have to kind of work a little bit for some of them. Now that, oh, that was almost bad. And this is obviously kind of taking the DK course from the N64 game and sort of playing with that. Love the music too. It's just so good, so pleasant. And Ginny is multitasking. I forgot to mention that earlier. Oh, Deli. But it also has elements of Donut Plains, I feel. Just a little bit. And of course, oh gosh. Of course, it has the classic multicolored blocks for walls. But that interesting thing, because I don't think that you see that in any other game in this series where it's flat. You know, these walls are just flat on the ground because the next entry you'll see, which is the GameCube game, sorry, actually, the next what I really should say is the next handheld game you see. GameCube clearly is capable of 3D rendering. The next handheld game is on the DS, which is also capable of 3D rendering. So you start to see those walls come up. Curtis says, I'm just glad Mana does not do power slides in real life. Do you know that I don't? Kronos says, well, I ended up on an island full of dinosaurs. It looked like some sort of zoo, except the humans were in the cages. I'm just glad I got out of that world. Oh, man. Chrono, that wormhole is strange. And Dash says, it's the original novelization of A New Hope, Rippin' by Alan Dean Foster, and released right around the same time in 1977. Early Star Wars books like Splinter and Brian Daley Han Solo books fascinate me since less of the canon was established at that point. And that's true, and you should pick up the Lando series as well while you're at it if you don't already. Or you might have told me that you already read those. Spyro, you got your PC at your house. That's great. That's great. And Dash says that first Star Wars novelization is basically the earliest interpretation, so I'm fascinated to see what it was like. Well, not only, oops, I didn't get the boost there. Not only is it, you know, the earliest interpretation, oh gosh, but it also was based off of early script work as well. So you'll note in that novelization pieces that are in the original script that got left on the cutting room floor of the movie or altered. Some of which also ended up in the special editions. So kind of interesting. I'm going to get hit by a red shell, aren't I? Yep. Oh, no, I didn't. Yeah. All right, so these are real tough. The Bowser Castle courses. Oh! What even? And without that boost at the beginning, I'm not doing so great. Oh, shoot. I really wanted to save this for Luigi. No! Boogers. Alright. Oh, just narrowly missing out. But if you place 4th or higher, you get to go on. And so that's what happened here. But I don't think that I'm going to be getting a gold. That's okay, I already have a gold. But, oh! I do get a gold. Yeah. Jenna has to head out. All right, Jenna, we'll have a great night. And thank you for stopping by and saying hello. And, yeah, feel free to poke your head in anytime, as always. Chrono is also heading into lurk mode. Totally fine. I will keep talking about all of the things I've noticed in this. Here you'll see the coins adding up on the side there. There's my rank E. Not so great. Spyro says, I'm going to need your help to set up my OBS studio with that selecting start stuff if you have time later. After the stream tonight, I will not have time, but I think we could make time tomorrow. And Frolik says it's the E for everyone. That's the rank. I got the E for everyone rank. That's great. That's just what I wanted. I wanted the E for everyone rank. And now that I have it, I don't know what to do. So race results have been saved. Alright, so that's the first one. Let's bring it back to 100cc. Give you a look at what 100cc looks like. Who do I play next? All of your choice. Who's it gonna be? Mandarin says, good job, Mana. Thank you. So I'll give you a sense of what the 100cc looks like. Actually, you know what? While I wait for you to choose a character, I am going to do the next one in 150. Why not? Dash says, how about Princess Peach? Oh, actually, Mandarin Bread said random prior to that, so we'll do random. Hopefully it's not Yoshi. Okay, it's Luigi. All right. I'm kind of hoping, to be honest, I'm kind of hoping to save Princess Peach for the special cup, but we'll see. See what happens. So here is the Flower Cup. Mario Circuit, Boo Lake, Cheese Land, Bowser Castle 2. I love the little things up in the corner. All the little vignettes. They're just, it's actually a unique little art to depict each course. It doesn't really give you any concrete way to know what the course is like. It gives you the theme, I suppose. But of course, if you start getting to know the courses, then you'll sort of see that and be like, oh yeah, I know what one that is. Okay, so Luigi just powering through there. So we're still 150cc, I believe. Oh, okay. Well, oh, I missed Toad. I missed Toad. But the shells are still flying. I might still hit him. Doesn't look like it. I'll use that red shell here. Another interesting fact I discovered while looking up more about this game is that, because like with the other games I had personal history and things I could share with all of you. With this game, I don't have that. So I'm like, well, what am I going to talk about with regards to this? So an interesting fun fact is the point system, again, trying to get those 3 stars. The more that you... Oh! Darn. The more that you go over item boxes, drive over them with an item already in your item box, the more points you'll get. So in other words, not using items, but collecting those boxes actually does increase your score. So that's a nifty little thing on here. Mandarin also is going to be lurking. No problem. Lurk away, my friends. This is... I'm trying to share stuff, so, you know, I can't really talk too much during the races. But of course, if you have anything you want to share or ask or say, just don't hesitate to ask. So the racing in this feels more... I don't know, it feels like this game is really trying to get you to play it like a racing game as opposed to a sort of chaotic item-based party game. So that's one thing I noticed pretty early on, and I think that's not a bad thing at all. I mean, the Mario Kart franchise has a lot of variation, and this is just one of the possible variations. Little shortcut there, I've discovered. These are obviously like the ghost houses, and even have the breakaway walls like the ghost houses on the Super Nintendo. I'm not sure, I think I got Yoshi there. I heard a little Yoshi scream. This is terrible as I say it. It's not a sentence I should be saying too often. I think I got Yoshi. I heard the little Yoshi scream. Uh-oh, Wario got ahead. What I was kind of hoping... Oh, shucks. It's risky to go for that. But as you can see, they were a little generous. Lakitu dropped me off at the end of the shortcut instead of bringing me back. One thing I wanted to do before playing this is check to see... I feel like at some point I did buy... Oh, I think there was a little special shortcut there that I never noticed on the left side. Interesting. I don't know if I have one or if, you know, if it's something I need to buy, but you can actually purchase a special cable that will link your Game Boy Advance or Game Boy Advance SP, which is what I have, to the GameCube and allow you to use that as a controller. And I think that would work a little bit better than the GameCube controller, if only because the GameCube controller analog buttons are, or not analog, but the shoulder buttons are analog. And so you kind of do like a partial press to activate, but sometimes you're doing a full press. It's just a lot of activation for a simple, a simple, actuary button on a Game Boy Advance or Game Boy Advance SP. So that, or I'd love to someday get the Hori Game Boy Advance controller, which looked like a Super Nintendo controller, except it was purple and it had the face buttons in the same style as the GameCube controller, which I think is really nice. And I'm surprised that we haven't seen Nintendo kind of go back to some of those ideas, because it's really grown on me. It's really cool to have this giant A button, which is like, in this case, your gas pedal. And then you also have, of course, the smaller red B button, which is brake, but in general with the... Ooh, nice. 2 stars in a row. With, GameCube games, it's like those are the 2 primary buttons. And then your X and Y buttons being these kind of cool, like lima bean shaped buttons. I don't know how else to describe them. They look like little lima beans, Let's see, am I gonna get... Yeah. Take that, Toad. Toad and Peach also have the best traction in this game, so for off-road sections, like in this one, in fact, where you can kind of just easily get off the side, that's pretty useful. Whoa, come on, come on, come on. Oh, I didn't get any. No. Oh, I didn't get any item box. Yes! I'll take it. Yeah, Dash says that was a clever little shortcut in the ghost house. That was pretty neat. And then Dash says, lucky getting both those stars. And indeed I was, especially on 150cc. So, Dash likes the art, thinks it's cute in this game, which I would agree. It has a really nice look to it. It's a neat blend. You can kind of see where, this is definitely an evolution of the Super Nintendo game. It's, it takes a... Oh, Nelly. Okay. The visuals take a hit, post N64, but that's to be expected, as these were the days of, about a generation gap between consoles and handhelds. I think at this point in time, if you told anyone that Nintendo would release a handheld console hybrid that would play games comparable to the top tier consoles of the time, then there would be a lot of disbelief. Let's just say that. Much disbelief would be had. Nah. Oof. All over the place with this. Yeah, right, Dash? You can definitely see a bit of the influence of the past games in this. It's weird. It's almost like a marriage of the two. You know, you've got the sprites to me, the sprite work of the drivers most closely resemble the N64, and in that sense, I see a lot of the N64 influence in this. Come on, yeah. But you know, the stages themselves, the races themselves, the tracks themselves, very much Super Nintendo. But then you've got that lovely background, the parallax scrolling. I mean, especially in this stage, look at that. So cool. And One High 30, welcome on in. Sorry I'm late. You don't have to worry. No problems, no problems. We just got gold again, so yay us. And I think this is funny, the little ceremony like this. Just gonna move my chair a little bit forward there. Hi, how are you doing? Not bad. Yeah, you meant to stop by sooner? No worries, no worries. Hi, that is all right. I'm glad you could make it. So we've done now the first 2 of the GP Cups in 150cc. There is a reason, I'll tell you now, that the extra tracks, which I'll reveal later, I will have to play them in 50cc because I have not unlocked them in 100cc and 150cc. Therefore, what I'm thinking is, I'll tell you what, let's go down. We've done 250cc's. Let's do 300cc's, and then we'll go to the extra cups in the 50cc's. I think that works. So, who's next? Who should we choose? And Hi is loving the sub badges. I'm so glad to hear that. I believe, wasn't it you, Hi, who kind of helped me to hone in on that idea for the sub badges? I thought, you know, the mana potions and whatnot, I think that was really your idea, and I think it worked out great. Or maybe a few of you, maybe even Dash, I don't remember for sure now. But I liked the idea. Did I get a haircut recently? I trimmed my beard, and I think I'm trying to remember. I haven't gotten a haircut recently, but my hair does look a little different today, I think. It is Wario time, apparently, Dash says. Okie dokie. So going down to the Lightning Cup. And this has... Interestingly, you know, I know it's fun going through this because you start to see some of these levels, of course, came back in Mario Kart for the Wii and the Wii U and Switch. So maybe even the GameCube. I actually don't really remember, but I'm glad you liked the badges, by the way. Oh, I did not get the start. This is a cool level with the rain. The puddles will get you. Oh, Wario. Oh, Wario. Our Virtual Boy stream was a blast. I think I want to go back and play more Virtual Boy Wario Land on stream sometime. But you know what? I don't know why, but one night I was staying up late and just thinking, Nintendo, why? Why did you not include a Virtual Boy Virtual Console on the 3DS? Especially if we never are seeing this return to 3D, which, I mean, we probably will someday, but I mean, it's just such a perfect platform for it. And it really makes me sad and even a little bit mad. It's like, oh, wasted potential for sure. I just would love to see it, and you know, give a couple of good options, like maybe a chance to play it with the red graphics on a black background, or maybe recolor those graphics so that you don't have just the stark red. Maybe have a nice, like, subtle gray or sepia or something like that. And man, that just would be such a great thing. I'd love to go and play all this great Virtual Boy stuff on the 3DS. It'd be fantastic. And we somehow pulled out a win. All right. Okay. Hi says, I love the pictures. For the badges? I think that's what you're referring to. I think that's what you mean. Love the pictures. I think that's what it is. How close? So also Wario Land Shake It. Oh, Wario Land Shake It actually is my favorite of the Wario franchise. Yeah, it's actually a favorite of the Wario franchise, and it is one of my favorite games on the Wii. I love it. Oh my gosh!
Thanks for hosting.
Yay! Turtle Beverage, thank you so much for that host. Welcome on in. Awesome, awesome. That is really cool. Thank you so much. Thank you. How are you doing? Just doing a little quick update here. Update information. Kind of swapping around between like retro and Mario Kart Super Circuit here for the category I'm streaming in. You're doing well? Oh, stressing finals though. I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, and Hi is loving the pictures for the Cup Select. Yes, which I also do really very much enjoy. But yeah, Wario Land Shake It is definitely, I would consider, a hidden gem on the Wii. Not really hidden, but I love that game a lot. Dash says, nice last minute surge for first. Thank you very much. I'm pretty proud of how that one turned out. Here's Sky Garden. This is a stressful course, I'm not gonna lie. And Hi asks how close I am, or if there's any updates on the 3DS capture card front. So I'll tell you what. I'm planning a real special announcement to and video for the community, and I was going to make the announcement, of course, on Discord and do all that. But you're here now, and we're playing Mario Kart. And I kind of feel like just to sort of give you all, as a sign of appreciation for you being here tonight, especially since I had to change the plan for tonight's stream last minute. I'm gonna give you the full story here, the full thing, the reveal, the pre-reveal. But you have to all promise me that you're gonna stay mum about it until I announce it officially. Does that sound good? Oh, hey, Turtle Beverage says I wanted to give you that sneaky host, but then I have to prepare my presentation. That is totally understandable. No problem, Turtle Beverage. Thank you. Actually, that means even more to me knowing that you took time away from your studying just to come and host me. So thank you. And definitely shout outs to Turtle Beverage. If you don't know, I recently met them, and they stream as well, so check them out. I need to check out more of their stuff, and will do. But she's got a great channel. Let me actually do a little shout out here. There we go. So yeah, so go ahead and check out their content. Yeah, and thank you so much for that host. And Hi has followed. Awesome. Dash says, yes, this does look tough, but I love the Jack and the Beanstalk design. Excellent. And good luck with the homework, Turtle Beverage, Dash says. Okay, so do you all promise that if I share with you the details here, that you're gonna keep it a secret? No. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a secret, but we'll surprise the rest of the community, shall we say? Sound good? I think so. I think we can agree to that. So, here's the update. Turtle Beverage, have a great night. All right, here's the update for the 3DS capture card saga. Hi says I'm all shushes. Perfect. Ah, the lips are sealed, Dash says. Perfect. All right, here's the update, everyone. Okay, so as you know, let me give a little context for anyone who's like, what is he even talking about? Oh my gosh, this one is hard. I forgot about this one. So for anyone who's not in the know, a little bit ago, I started a special fund. I've never done it before, but I had a donation goal for a 3DS capture card, and the reason is this: Katsukitty, who is the only manufacturer of 3DS, new 3DS capture cards, or new 2DS or new 3DS capture cards, recently I had to close their business because of new Japanese laws regarding console modding, especially hitting hard for consoles that are currently in development. And even though this is, primarily they were known for their capture card modifications, this still was not acceptable under the change of the Japanese law. So they were the only manufacturer of the cards. They also installed them, but there was also another company that installed them as well, called Murky, who is out of Germany. And look at that, first place, nice. And that company bought product from Katsukitty, bought the cards, installed them themselves, and distributed them. That is something that is not an issue. They can still continue to do that. And they have the stock that they have from Katsukitty, which they estimate, at least as of like a month or two ago, they estimated to be about a few months. So I was like, okay, I'm nervous. I really want to get a capture card because my long-term goal always was to get one. I figured this is the way to go to make sure that I can capture high-quality DS and 3DS footage, because as you can see right now, I can capture Game Boy Advance all the way down to Game Boy with the Game Boy Advance player. On the GameCube, I can also use the Super Game Boy for certain games if I want the cool backgrounds and custom palettes. But for DS and 3DS, my only solution was to use the camera, which I did a few times, and it worked out okay. If I was only capturing, say, the top screen, it worked out okay, actually surprisingly well, but not perfect, and made it very difficult for any capture of both screens simultaneously. And for games that would require a lot of the unique aspects of the system, like a game I can't wait to stream, Phantom Hourglass, it would be nearly impossible because my hand would be in frame all the time and just totally wreck the immersion. So long-term goal was to get one, but here all of a sudden I'm like, uh-oh, this was not in the budget, I need to get one. Well, I raised that stream a significant chunk of the goal towards a 3DS capture card. And I pinched my pennies for the days after, and I didn't spend any of my coffee money, or, well, I don't actually drink coffee, but you know what I mean, any of my, like, smoothie money. That's actually what I get. And I made sure to eat, lunches that were inexpensive, and I saved all my allowance and all my my Patreon and Twitch income. And you probably guessed by now, I ordered a new 2DS XL white and orange US edition with capture card. And look at that, first place again. And I ordered it, and it's actually sitting over there. I have been testing it just before this weekend and a little bit today as well. Been testing it, setting things up. I have been making sure everything is as I want it. I recorded a little unboxing. I'll be putting a video out together for you. And now that means when I get to Mario Kart DS and Mario Kart 7, I'll be able to play using my capture card, which is going to be so much better than what I was originally thinking. Because I can actually, you can see like the bottom screen with the map and everything that really makes the experience complete. So my plan is, I mean, it was an expensive purchase, and one again I was not prepared for, and definitely set me back on the CDI fund as well, because I used that as well. But what I was thinking of doing, because I don't want to be greedy about it, but I was thinking of doing a special where I was going to play a bunch of like DS and 3DS content, and do a part 2 of my fundraising for the 3DS. And if you are able to, then it would be awesome if you could contribute towards that. I wanted to space it out, you know, from the first one, but I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. Yeah, I didn't want to do it too close, but I didn't want to do it too far away. So people are like, "But you already have it." I do have it, but it was expensive. But I think it's going to, if I can play games from it, I think maybe you'll see the value of it, and we can have fun doing that and make a stream of it, and maybe do some stuff. And Hi supports the idea, so awesome. That's what I'm gonna do. Oh, Dash, you're right. That's hilarious. The top 3 were the 3 troublemakers. It was. Oh, that's hilarious. It was totally Wario in first, DK in second, and Bowser in third. Oh, that's funny. And Dash says that sounds good to him too. Perfect. So yeah, I just I'm really excited to do more. So okay, what's this? Who next? Who next? While we continue to talk. Hi says Pokemon? When? Which Pokemon games are you referring to? Oh, for the DS? Honestly, I'm getting way more into Pokemon than I thought. I think after Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, probably the next one I'll play will be Sword or Shield. I'm not sure which of the 2 I'll get. But I'll probably go back to Pokemon if I get into it then. Hi says I vote Toad. Okay. Toad it is. Toad it is. And let me just make sure that you all saw all of these images. See, they're pretty good, right? And then, oops, there we go. So this is the next set. Right? Because we did, yeah, we just did that one. So next set, I love the Mario in the snow there. All right, so this cup, oh, it's a snow one. This course is actually pretty tricky. Ribbon Road looks fun, Dash says. I have some comments when we get there. I have some comments. When we get to that level. Now you have a lot less traction in this, but look at this. They give you a full lineup of coins. It's really satisfying when you do the whole thing first time. I did not. So next time, hopefully I can line it up better. But even Toad, who has the best traction in the game, is sliding every which way. And, yeah, that wasn't the best either, but it worked. So, here we go. Oh my gosh. Hi says, I'll be right be right B? I'll be right back for 20 minutes. Alright, no worries. And, all that little, like, shine in the course. It's kind of cool. And the music is so fun. So yeah, I'm super pumped to have gotten that capture card, and I'll definitely be giving some thoughts on the company. But I'm very excited to do more content with the 3DS and the DS, especially Animal Crossing. I'm gonna go back to Animal Crossing and play more of that, because it's gonna be so much easier, and I can actually show my face when I play. Oh, I didn't do it. Deleuze!
Thanks so much for hosting.
Deleuze, my friend. Welcome on in. Oh my gosh. How are you? How are your streams going? I hope you know I am, I'm not avoiding you. I just, my stream viewing as of late has gone significantly down. Family obligations and getting ready for this move, man. But how has it been? And did you just finish up a stream? I don't know if those of you who are here may not know this. Deleuze, a longtime supporter here and a friend of Mana. I've gotten to talk to him personally, and really cool guy. Deleuze is currently streaming. Look at that! Was streaming some Sega Genesis classics. We've got a little sneaky raid here is what we've got. Deleuze, thank you for that raid. Oh my gosh, and how were these Sega Genesis classics? What did you end up playing from those Sega Genesis classics? And were you playing them on Switch or Steam? So many questions. Okay, Ribbon Road. Ribbon Road, everyone. Here's the deal. So, Dash said that this looked really fun. And now, I know Ribbon Road from Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. This is no Ribbon Road. It's so much better on Mario Kart 8. On this, it's like, it's cool. But when you know the gimmick of 8, where the ribbon actually is flowing, like the image there, you can just tell Nintendo wanted to do that, and I just didn't know how. And that's a shame. And JP came in with the Deleuze raid. JP, actually Deleuze, I believe, has gifted me a sub to JP as well. Deleuze is always keeping me in the great subs for all the great people. That's a bad news thing to have happened right there. So that is much like in the Super Nintendo game. You can I mean, that was totally my fault, so oops. But yeah, that's no good. I knocked myself into the course below, having to make that whole circuit once again. Thankfully, they gave me a star. Let's see if it's enough for me to get into a placing mode. Again, you have to be 4th or higher to actually place. They've given me another star. They're taking pity on me. And no, I'm in 3rd still. Oh, 4th again. Okay, I could still do it. Like that section right there, you could tell they really. Oh, come on, Mana. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Oh, I missed all of the boost pads. This is turning into a true Mana stream. Uh-oh. Oh, snap. When you start hearing the oh no's and the oh yeahs, you know it's a Mario, or a Mana stream. Oh. Oh. We did it. We did it.
Captain, we're detecting strange signals on the screen.
Nice. Thank you, JP, also for that host. Whew, okay. So, JP says, it was great and a fine retro night. Deleuze says, I regret nothing about that purchase. Nice. Deleuze played Rice Star, Streets of Rage, and Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. And both Rice Star and Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine were new to Deleuze. Excellent. Both are fantastic games. Dash says, woo, that was a real nail biter. It was. It was indeed. And Deleuze was playing on a PS4. Okay, so Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine is a what do you call it? What's a Puyo Puyo clone with Dr. Robotnik as the theme, you know, that sort of Sonic world. Rise Star is actually one of the best Genesis platformers, actually, in my opinion. I love that game. And unfortunately, I do not own the Genesis version. I own the Game Gear version, but I don't own the Genesis version. So I would love to pick that up on the Genesis, but it's slowly creeping up in price as more and more people realize what it is. But it's a really cool game where you play as a star that stretches its arms out to grab things like little poles that it can flip off of, and enemies as well. It's a really unique game that feels very Nintendo-like as well, but actually, I gotta say, it's also one of the most beautiful Genesis games out there. Really well done. I believe it was the team behind Sonic, too, if I'm not mistaken, who made that. Look, our first blue shell of the evening. And with my ghost, I now have a star, which should just help me regain that lead that the blue shell took away. I'm pretty far up on here. And Delu says, I enjoyed the time with Rice Star, I must admit. Good, because I honestly don't think it gets better on the Genesis. I think of the Genesis, I mean, the Sonic games are great. You're not going to go wrong with those. You know, I'm also a big fan... Ooh, another blue shell. Wow. I'm also a big fan of Vector Man. That's really good. And El Viento. But Rise Star, I think, is tops. I think that's it. Duluth is looking forward to Dynamite Heady, Comic Zone, and Vector Man. There's that Vector Man I was telling you about. Yeah, Vector Man is great, and Vector Man 2 as well. It was Sega's response to Donkey Kong Country with the pre-rendered graphics. And admittedly, it's lacking compared to Donkey Kong Country. It's just these pre-rendered balls, and that's how they went around it. Yeah, background elements and everything are also pre-rendered, but compared to DKC, it's pretty lacking. But what is lacking in graphics, it more than makes up for gameplay, as it is a pretty stylish and fun Mega Man-esque run-and-gun platformer. So yeah, I think you'll probably like that one. And I do remember that game fondly. One of these days, I still have yet to stream on my actual Genesis. I've streamed my Atari, I've streamed Virtual Boy, Wii U. Okay, what have I all streamed? Let me think about this, actually. So I started with the PC, obviously. Minecraft. I guess... Actually, you know what? Trying to think of it in chronological order to when I streamed will probably not be helpful. Let me think of it. Oh, no! Shoot. Uh-oh. Let me think of it in terms of systems. So, okay, I've streamed Atari. 2600. Oh, gosh. I've streamed... let's do Nintendo handhelds. I've streamed the Game Boy. I don't think I've streamed the Game Boy Color. I've streamed Game Boy Advance. And I've streamed 3DS. And Virtual Boy, of course. Virtual Boy. Let's see. Nintendo consoles. I've streamed... I've not yet streamed the NES either, come to think of it. I mean, I'm talking about original consoles here. I have streamed Virtual Console versions of Nintendo, the NES Online, the NES Classic Edition. I've streamed the SNES, though. The N64. I've not actually streamed a... No, I have streamed the GameCube. The Wii U, and the Switch. So I'm missing NES. And then I've not played any Sega systems yet, so I still want to play some Game Gear games, Genesis, Dreamcast. I have played a PS3 game. I played Journey, but there's more there I could do. I played PS1, Spyro. Not played any PS2 yet, or PS4, or anything in the Xbox series. And I think that's about it. So I've got a lot to do. Anyway. Delu says, yeah, I'm not expecting all of them to hold up, but I can't wait to play them again. I have those 3 cartridges in box. Oh, nice. I have to admit, I have not played Dynamite Heady before, but I have played Comic Zone, and that's a pretty fun one. Kind of weird. It's unusual. I remember first seeing it in a comic book, you know, as an ad in a comic book, and thinking it was pretty cool. But there's a lot to learn about it. Spyro's back. Hey, I'm back. Had a visit with a Canadian brother of mine who is streaming. Oh, nice. Mandarin Bread has to head out. Mandarin Bread, thank you so much for being here. You made it through the first 4 cups of Mario Kart Super Circuit. I'll definitely encourage you, if you want, to go back and just look and see what some of the other levels are like, because these are some pretty cool levels, my friend. Pretty cool races, I should say. Scrunk, welcome on in. It's so good to see Scrunk, too. I'm going to give a little shout out. Scrunk, what is up? Thank you so much. You've been so supportive lately with your tweets and retweets and all that. All right. So we're gonna do 100cc for the final of these. I need a character. Any character. What do you think? What do you think, everyone? One that I've not done, though. That's the only caveat. Some of you may not know what I have done so far. That is okay. Just tell me a character. And the first one I have not done is what I will choose. Scrunk, no problem. You're totally welcome for that shout out. Feel free to stay here, lurk, whatever you want to do. No probs. But I just need a character for our final of the standard cups in here. My goal with this playthrough, for anyone who does not know, actually I should share this. I've been working through all of the Mario Kart franchise, and I will also, it's looking more and more like a given. I will be streaming the arcade game as well, live from an actual arcade. But I'm working my way through the Mario Kart franchise. This is the third in the series. It is obviously a Game Boy Advance game. Hopefully you're getting some good nostalgia here with the way that it looks. I'm trying to show all of the courses. So I'm not necessarily getting, like, not unlocking everything. I'm not, I'm not trying to show, like, battle mode necessarily, but I'm trying to show every course available in the game. That's my primary purpose. And so far we've done that. We're in our third game. How about your boy Mario? Dash says. Deleuze says Yoshi, but I did actually start with Yoshi, so I think we're gonna go to Mario then. Mario it is for the special cup. How appropriate. Here you go. Love the little images in the corner. And there's our Rainbow Road. Deleuze says, how are you capturing the GBA? How indeed. I am capturing the GBA. Well, first of all, this right here is all hand done by me, digital art, to look like a Game Boy Advance SP. I took a photo of mine, and then basically traced over it with shapes and gradients to make it look like it does. Vectorize the logo and all of that. And then I'm capturing this through a Game Boy Advance player on the GameCube, and I am sneakily playing with a GameCube controller. Now, I wish I had the cable. I could have actually played this on my Game Boy Advance SP, which, is it easy to get to? Here, hang on a second. I'm gonna nab that real quick. I think I can get it. Just plopped down into my chair. Whoops. There we go. Skrunk says, that's awesome. I love the graphic design. Thank you. I've done, so far I've done this for all of my handhelds, where I've tried to set it up with the, with an actual, like, overlay that I make, a custom one, to match the console that I actually own. That's kind of one of the things. So here, let me go ahead and show you here. This is my Game Boy Advance SP. Now, actually, funny thing, this is actually it was my brother-in-law's, and then he gave it to me. So here you go. That is what it looks like. So I took a picture of this, and I put that in to Photoshop, and that's what I used to make the graphics that you see. And so that's just a short little aside, as it were. And then we're back, and anyway, that's the deal. And of course, actually, a new little thing, you may have just seen it right there. That was our new Stinger transition, which is something I have to thank Saving Liberty for. It's something I wanted to make and make it just like that. And it was with his help I was able to do it. He actually made it for me after I mapped everything out and said, this is what I'm trying to make. And he was able to use the correct programs that he knew how to use. So anyway, Delu says, if it's the module that goes into the GameCube, we must have matching hardware. I think we do. I think we do. That's what it is. Oh no, your battery died on your GBA SP, Deleuze. You can get replacement batteries though, actually fairly inexpensively. So that's something to do. Oh wow. Whoa. Well, okay. We've just got like a big real talk item just dropped into chat here. Wow, Spyro. Okay. So, obviously I'm already in the game here, but the gist of Spyro's comment is it's been about 10 years of knowing, and I don't know if that's dating also, but knowing his current girlfriend, and he's starting to think about popping the question. Well, first of all, I hope she's not watching. Wow. Well, okay. You know, that's a tough one. You know, I think for everyone it's going to be different.
Whoa, thank you. How generous.
JP, thank you so much. Thanks for those 10 bits, JP, my friend. Yeah. Oh, gosh. I still need to figure out... Oh, gosh. This is tricky. This is like such a nerve-wracking stage. Okay, so it's gonna be different for everyone, but one thing I can tell you is that when Ms. Man and I, you know, when we, I mean, I pretty much knew right away. I just knew. That sounds cliche, but I knew right away that this was the person I could imagine spending the rest of my life with. And, you know, any relationship is going to take a lot of communication, and, you know, you're going to go through times where it's going to be easier and times where it's going to be harder, because relationships are like that. There's peaks and valleys. We're imperfect. But having a strong foundation is important, and it sounds like you've known each other for a decade. That's a really good indicator. Ms. Man and I actually had a lot of our time getting to know each other when we had distance, and so we had to talk. You know, it was through phone calls and MSN Messenger. That was like the West Coast AOL or AIM. But yeah, you know, we got to know each other a lot through that, and as a result, I feel like, you know, and we talk about this, we think our relationship really had a strong foundation. We knew each other really well, and we shared the important things. You know, we didn't agree on everything, and yet the important core values and the core beliefs and everything were held the same, and that I think is also incredibly helpful and important. So yeah, you know, it's not something I can really tell you one way or another whether you should, but as far as being nervous, is that normal? I would say so. I mean, it maybe depends a little bit on what you mean by nervous. I mean, if you're... I'm not sure what you're nervous about, but if it's just sort of, this is a big, you know, a big step, and it's a big life change, then I'd say, yeah, absolutely, that's normal. Because it's exactly that. And, you know, any change is always met with a degree of uncertainty and, I don't know what the word is, anxiety maybe, but, you know, there's always going to be something that, that isn't going to sit 100%, because it's different, you know? It's not gonna, it's not just gonna be like moving from one day to the next, it's always going to be a change. So that always is accompanied by a little bit of, I don't know what the right word is. I don't want to say anxiety, but anyway. So yeah, and at the end of the day, I mean, and I know you, I've shared before, obviously, I am, both Ms. Manna and I are devout Catholics and care about our faith greatly and our relationship with God. And I think, and I know that you also feel that way and have that relationship with God, are Christian yourself. So bring it to prayer. Talk to people you trust. Consider what the outcome would be like. Use your imagination. Research, do a little looking into, can you afford a family? Can you afford this change? Those sorts of things. Essentially what I'm telling you is do discernment. That's a tool, a Christian tool. Discern. Bring those you trust into the equation. And maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I also asked Ms. Manna's family and my family beforehand too, what they thought, and actually did the whole would it be okay, kind of like asking for permission, which is funny because it's like, I think about it now, I'm like, it's not like when baby Manna, when it comes time for her, if she's getting married, it's not like I have any real ultimate say over it. But I guess it's a nice thing. But I think if nothing else, it's nice to get the input from the family. And if the family's supportive, that's a good thing, right? So anyway. Skrunk, Spyro says, I'm really nervous about screwing it up because of how big it is. Skrunk says, you can't really screw it up. Don't worry about that. At the end of the day, the gesture will be all that matters. That's right. That is right. And JP is loving this stream. I'm so happy. Thank you. And yes, I finally have sub badges. Scooter, look at that fancy sub badge for you. That's a year sub badge, my friend. Yeah, I finally do have sub badges. And JP, what in particular are you liking about the stream? I'm really digging sharing through all this franchise, what it looks like. I love how clear the image looks right now. I did forget one thing, Deleuze. I did forget one thing, which is to say that in addition to the GBA player on the GameCube, I'm using something called the RetroTink 2X. I know Scooter's asking me all about it. Hopefully, if all goes as planned, this Wednesday, we are going to be returning to Secret of Mana, and I will be seeing Bob, and I will be getting a chance to record the final footage for my video review off of the Elgato Game Capture HD I've lent him for his deciding whether or not he wants to buy it off of me. But I want to capture that footage before, as a comparison for a few things that I didn't get before I loaned it to him, and I didn't think about it. But I haven't been able to because we haven't gotten together since basically the snow because of all kinds of things, including sickness. But he tells me he's doing much better. The family's doing better. So he's ready to play some Secret of Mana this week. So the only thing that would prevent us at this point is all the other things that have prevented us in the past that could certainly come back, because you never know. But the RetroTink 2X is a device that line doubles an older signal. It has inputs for composite S-video and component. It does actually have components. I don't know why I apologized. And then it spits out a 720p HDMI signal, meaning it's also lag-free, meaning I am actually playing off of my monitor that I use for all my other modern games, my Switch and everything, and there's no lag. It looks great, and it's much clearer than I was getting through my Elgato, and I don't have any other software on my computer rendering anything, which is great, because right now I'm about 60% CPU. I've got about 40% headroom. I actually occasionally have like weird glitches, so in the past I've had even like 90%. But right now I'm doing good at the sweet spot And I got plenty of headroom, but I don't want to use that up. So anyway, Deleuze says, that was a lot to take in. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, okay, that technical speak made more sense to me, Deleuze says. Yeah, so the RetroTink is a device that does all that, and then that's just paired. It's external. It doesn't mod any of the other devices. It just cleans up the signal, makes it more readable for your display and capture cards, and I'm running that into a cam link, Elgato cam link, which captures a great clean HDMI signal, throws it into a splitter, puts it out. It's fantastic. So I've got that running to my I've got a splitter running into the cam link into my computer, and the other end going into my monitor. It works great, and I think it looks really clean. There are some other things you can do with it too, which work great for when I've been playing the other games, and it makes a great clean N64 signal. So far this is great. We're gonna play Maui Mallard Scooter. That's what we're gonna do. And yeah, as far as the sub badges, you'll notice it's all of the different colored mana potions. So we've got the purple for the initial sub badge. 3 months gets green with a different bottle design. 6 months gets you a blue mana splash potion, which has another design. It actually looks very similar to my emote here. And then the final, the 1 year one, which is the most that affiliates can get at this time, is that gold one in the circle vial, which is pretty cool. And I am still in the process. If anyone knows, I'm still researching this, but if anyone knows, I'm trying to figure out if I just delete my tier 2 and tier 3 emotes, can I then re-upload them with the same name as my tier 1 emotes? Because right now that's what I want to do. And then add new emotes for the other tiers. But anyway. Spyro says, "Yo, Mana, thanks, man. I was so nerve-wracked. You made me realize she loves me for me. I don't have anything to worry about. And thanks you as well, Skunk." Good. No, I mean, that's the thing. Like, ultimately, actually, here's the other piece to this, right? The proposal and the proposal is like one thing, right? The wedding day is one thing. There's a lot I could unpack with this, but I'll just leave it at that. And then, because I think that's important. I say don't focus though on the like make it pretty, make it like don't focus on the let's do a destination wedding. Let's deplete our bank account to do this. Focus on the parts that matter, right? But the thing that's going to be lasting, right, is the work you continually put into the marriage, right? So if you both feel ready for that, and no one's ever going to be perfectly ready, but if you both feel like you have the tools to work through any potential issues, to talk through things that need to be talked about, to to make it through tough times together. If you have that, then I say you're pretty good to go, right? Discern, and if you feel like this is where you're being called, being led, then by all means pursue it. And in that sense, step out with no fear. Okay? It's tough. It's tough. It's not always gonna be perfect. And very sadly, sometimes people enter into relationships and they're not meant to be. But I think if you do your discernment and you work hard at it, and both parties have to work hard at it, then you've got something that's going to stick. If you think the two of you are ready for that, I'd say go forward, no fear. I hope that I'm not kind of like sitting here Just like, sorry. But look, here we go. Rainbow Road, everyone. Let's change gears and check out Rainbow Road. This is the Rainbow Road of Super Circuit, the third of the Mario Kart franchise. Now, this level is pretty good. At first I was like, it's a little bland. It's not doing it for me like the first Super Mario Kart Rainbow Road. And man, I don't think you're ever gonna top the N64 game. But you know what's kind of cool about this? There's the that's what's kind of cool about it. The edges aren't just cliffs. This is terrible. The edges are actually bumpers that you jump off of, making this incredibly gnarly to get through. And boy, I'll tell you, I wish I was Toad right now for that extra bit of traction. I was actually thinking about, I was thinking about doing Toad, but I think we already used Toad. So here we are with Mario. Oh gosh, and the stars are getting me. This is going downhill fast. This might be our first game over, man. Now there's a little shortcut that I've never tried. We might give it a go because I don't think we have anything to lose. Oh, that's not gonna work if I do that. Oh dear. All right, maybe we'll get it on the next turn. I don't know. This is bad news right now. So we've got a bunch of red shells. We could probably use those. Yeah. Let's see. I'm nervous because oh look, a blue shell, my first blue shell of the game. The game knew I was doing pretty poorly, apparently. And a star. Oh, and a wasted opportunity right off the bat. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh my gosh. I can't do this. I can't do this with the Mario. No. Okay, hold on. Let's try and get this. Yes. 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 Oh. Okay, but I don't think it was enough. I don't think it was enough. Sadly, alas. Wah wah, our first. This is what happens. It's our first time getting below 4th place. Good old Rainbow Road, right? So you have 3 of these checkered flags, and these, much like in the first game, you have tries. You use up 3 of them, you get a game over. You can use this to your advantage in that you can then take a retry if you're not satisfied with the rank you've got, the placement you've got. That said, by doing so, you get put back in that position at the starting line. And I do believe, I could be wrong on this, that you do lose points in your overall score for doing that.
Thanks. That's generous.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so we're gonna use one of our checkered flags. It's not the end of the world here because we're not going for a 3-star thing. JP, those bits are perfect. The little Rainbow Road flag, I love it. Let's try this again and let's see if we come in first this time. And I now know that shortcut. First time I tried it on this, so that's pretty cool. But I love the background. It's so cool. All right, we've got our boost off the start. Not too shabby. I'm going to be using more braking this time as opposed to drifting because I think... Oh! Oh! That would have been so close. Oh my gosh. All right. I'll catch up on chat here more in a moment. But that's our first falling off the edge. Not a good start. Not a good start at all. Again, I'm going to use that braking. I don't think I've tried this with Mario yet. Okay, that's pretty good. I can see how... Oh! Okay, I can see how that would be very dangerous if you're trying to... Oh, gosh! Uh-oh, this is bad. Alright, I'm just going to throw that green shell. Just for no reason, apparently. Ah, man, that center section, if you go anywhere on the edges, you're going to go flying. So, that real tight line there for the little shortcut, that's pretty tricky. I guess you can cut that more than I have been doing, though, so that's good. You get more traction with the star, so I'm going to just kind of take it easy around the corners. Oh my gosh. Oh!
Rainbow Road Bit Train.
That's right, JP. I need the emote hype, the bit hype to keep me going. Oh, this is a tricky one. All right, there we go. We got our toad. We've got the side dash bar now. I would place if I can keep it in fourth. Oh man, a little bounce off the side like that. The first time I did this, I felt like I got really lucky and I never fell off, and I was like, oh, this one's easy. Every subsequent time, it was a lot harder. Oh, I just got hit by that little lightning cloud. That is a dangerous thing. Do not let that happen. I am already in 6th here. I would have to do a try again if I don't get this. But, oh my gosh. Here we go. That's it. 3rd place, my friends. We can do the little hop over, and we'll get the boost, and we came in 2nd. Oh my gosh. Thank you all for all of your great emotes, and we managed to pull out a 2nd place. Woo!
Oh, thank you. How generous.
Rainbow Bits.
That's right. Wow. Okay. And then Mario just promptly falls off. And we get gold, so that is pretty great. My goodness. Okay. Whew. That little last section, I tell you, that was something there. That was something. By the way, this is all being captured, so it's S-Video into the RetroTink, so not too shabby for S-Video. I feel like you're getting pretty good pixel definition here, much like you'd see on the Game Boy Advance. And I've lowered the saturation just a bit. It's kind of between what you would see on the this model of the SP, which I have, which happens to be actually a forward lit version. This is not the backlit version that people love to get. This is the AGS 001. But I like it because a lot of these games were designed with that in mind, and then the DS has a very saturated look because it's all backlit and beautiful bright screens, so you don't get so the games look oversaturated because they were designed to compensate for that forward-facing light. But anyway, Skrunk says, I gotta hit the hey dude, thanks for the stream, have a great night. Thank you so much, Skrunk, for coming by. Take care, my friend, and I will catch you again next time. Deleuze says, been a long day for this guy, gotta bounce for the night. Have a great stream, mana, and night all. No problem, take care, thank you so much. Spyro says, thanks for the advice, I'm taking it all to heart, and you're a gentleman and a scholar. Thank you, Spyro, right back at ya. So good night to those of you who have to take off. What I'm going to be doing next, and for any of you who are still lurking or who are able to stay, I am actually going to be playing, well, first we're going to see the ending. This is kind of fun here. Everyone starts going a little wild. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the extra races, the extra courses, and that's how I'm going to end the stream. I'll be showing you all the extra courses. This game actually has a full set of additional courses. They should be a little bit quicker for us to go through, but I'll reveal now what they are because it's pretty exciting. This is the first game in the Mario Kart franchise where we get classic tracks. That's right. They actually bring back classic tracks, but in this game, they only really had the SNES to pull from because, as you probably know, this would not be capable of the N64 levels. And I think they probably knew that trying to recreate the N64 levels in this 2D style probably wasn't what people really wanted. So what they've done is they've actually recreated all of the original Super Mario Kart races in Super Circuit. So you'll have every single race, and since they are shorter courses, there's 5 laps in each race. And in addition, because there are 5 cups, in the original Mario Kart game, there were 4, but there were only but there were 5 races every cup. So in this one, you have 5 cups, 4 races in every cup. So a slight change there. I was trying to figure out what the order was. I was going to prepare that before the stream, but because I did this earlier than anticipated, I didn't do that. But I'm wanting to say that if you go back, you look at like the Super Nintendo courses, I think it's a little out of order. I'm not sure how much. I think mostly it is I think it's a lot in order, but with the final course having some more of the more challenging courses. The final cup having more of the challenging courses. So so that's what to expect here. But yeah, so we're gonna play those and see what they look like. The first retro, callback, throwback, classic tracks. I think that's pretty cool. I did not know that started in this game. I'm pretty sure, having not really been too familiar with Double Dash, because that was, again, during the era I wasn't really into playing a lot of games. I didn't own a GameCube when it was new, didn't own a Game Boy Advance when it was new. This game passed me by. That game, for the most part, passed me by. I played it with a couple of friends, including Bob, who played Secret of Mana with me. It's with him that I first played Mario Kart Double Dash. But I did not... I don't know for sure. I think that there are classic cups in that. I'm pretty sure. And that will be the first that would have been made with 3D graphics. So it'll be interesting to see what they did. This is interesting. Donkey Kong 3D model provided courtesy of Rare UK. We saw that in the N64 game. It's kind of interesting that they did that. JP, thank you. Spyro says, just winding down. Mana helped me a lot with something exciting and serious. Aw, thanks, Spyro. So, JP, thank you so much for all of this. The fireworks going off and everything. Thank you, thank you. I don't know why they're so delayed these days, though. I'm gonna have to work on that. But in any event, we do have the little fireworks going off there. So, I think... Oh, yeah, okay. I wasn't sure if you had to restart or not, but you can just push A button. So we're going to go down to 50cc, because how to unlock these levels, these extra courses, what you have to do... who have we not played as, by the way? I don't think we've played as Luigi, and I don't think we've played as Bowser or DK. So seeing as we just saw the DK message about the use of that render and the fact that DK is not in Super Mario Kart, let's go to that. The way to unlock these... Oh, we did play as Luigi? Okay, alright, good. Deal for real, yes! Welcome on in, dude, yes, this game rocks. I'm gonna give you my opinion now that I've gone through these courses. But first, let me say, the way to unlock the extra tracks is you need to get 100 coins across all 4 courses in a cup. So I had to go back and play these another time after getting gold. So you have to get gold in everything, unlock everything, which I did. Then you have to go back and you have to get 100 coins in that cup across the 4 courses. So I've only done that so far in 50cc. I'm going to have to go back then and do that with 100 and 150cc. I believe if you get triple stars on everything, you get a special background on the title screen. So that's the only thing you're not seeing. As a matter of fact, the title screen you saw today was orange. That's because I got gold and everything. It's blue when you start. I think it's a darker blue when you unlock everything. I push L or R. Here are our extra cups. You can see, there they are. Very simple. That's, you know, what it looks like. Basically the maps from the overhead map view of the racetrack from Super Mario Kart. And then, oops. The D-pad on the GameCube controller can be a little, a little tricky. So that's what we're going to play. We're going to play through all of these. You can see there our final Rainbow Road. So my thoughts on this game, having come back to it later, I love it. It was really cool because it felt like a brand new Mario Kart game for me, because it was one I have not played. And so I really enjoyed realizing, like, I didn't realize it, but I had another Mario Kart game that I could approach fresh, and that was really nice. It feels like a good blend between the Super Mario Kart game and the Mario Kart 64 game, because there is a really nice blend of style visually, but also the play style. It's a little more slippery than in Super Mario Kart, but less so than the N64, Mario Kart 64. But at the same time, everything feels a little more honed in, a little tighter. The controls are a little more solid. You know, with Super Mario Kart, you didn't have some of the extras like the power boost. You didn't have some of the other little things like the AI being kind of fine-tuned. And so I think this does a great job of that. And it really feels like a racing first kind of game over the items. But here we go. We get to compare. This is the very first course of the Super Nintendo game. Maybe you can go watch my Super Mario Kart playthrough from 2 weeks ago, and you can compare what this looks like. The music is all there, but you'll notice that they use the track assets from the rest of the game. So we're seeing the same Peach's castle in the background. We're seeing the same, block assets and everything. Oh, yes! We used that green shell right in time to knock out that red shell. Oops. But, you know, like, this, you can totally tell what this is. All the blocks are in the right places. The coins are in the right places. Though the coins don't mean quite the same thing, and the blocks are now 3D. This is unmistakably the first track of Super Mario Kart. And I would say they did a really great job, and it feels somehow, for most of these, it feels somehow tighter. Oh wow, I just realized that I'm lapping poor poor Wario, even with my terrible driving. Oh, Nelly. Okay, well, we'll just do that. Hop in. Oh my gosh. Deal for Real says, I do have to come back to this soon. I haven't played it in 10 years. Ah, yeah. So definitely do it. Dash says, oh man, this looks great with the updated graphics. Doesn't it? It really looks nice. So it's pretty cool. And I had no clue that the entire Super Nintendo race catalog, was in this game. So for years, I just thought this had all unique tracks, but it's really cool. Ah, yes, and Spyro has to go to bed. No problem. Take care, Spyro. God bless you too. And we will definitely talk and set up everything. We'll make sure that your selecting start alerts are working and all your overlay elements. Definitely that guide is going to be your first place to turn to. That's in the Google Drive there on the resources page, but in Discord. But I'm happy to voice chat through some of the aspects of it, and of course the alerts. I'll be happy to send some of those. Or if you can't get a hold of me, any of the other board members would be able to as well. Actually, if someone could put in the chat !selecting start, I sure would appreciate it. It'll explain a little bit about the channel that I'm talking about and what's going on. It is a collaborative channel that Spyro is joining. We had 2 new members actually join over the weekend. 2 fantastic and chill Nintendo streamers, and variety streamers, I should say, really. Weapon X Metsu and Cajun Kishi. Big X-Men fans. And excellent streamers. Metsu is playing some Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, and Cajun was playing some Kirby's Dreamland. And this is just too easy. Going back to 50cc. Too easy. Thank you, Dash, for that there. So yeah, and you can see, like, look how nice that looks with the background. You know, in the original, it's kind of got the little hills in the background, just the little peaks like that. You know, now you've got this whole lush jungle. So it's not quite in keeping with the theme of the original. The original had more of like a park lakeside feel, but I'd say it works for them to have reused the assets. It really, I think they were thinking this way too. And it's nice that after the N64 game, we get a return to some of these styles of levels, because we didn't see in the N64 game really that kind of donut plane style level. So it's kind of neat. Oh, Nelly. So ultimately, oh gosh, yeah, those jumps can cancel out a shell. Ultimately, this is, I don't know if I would say it is my, now one of my new favorites. There's definitely that kind of honeymoon period where I'm, I'm like, this is just so fun because it's new and fresh for me. But I definitely think that compared to Super Mario Kart, which is, for nostalgia reasons, the game I'm most attached to, I have to admit this is the superior 2D Mario Kart. Everything else being in 3D, it's hard to really compare this to the rest of the series. But I do also think of a game, Super Indie Karts. And Super Indie Karts is really well done. I'm a big fan of it. I think they did a great job. But ultimately, it's really a finicky game to play. It's got a real high level of difficulty, I find. Maybe I'm just not good at it. That could be, right? But it's got a high level of difficulty, and I think this is a better balanced game, which is probably a fair thing. I mean, Nintendo typically balances well. JP using the Manamons command. Yes, I'm working on that more. My Manamons, I need to work on it. I've got a few. Actually, that's another thing. I did change my overlay with the Manamons. Now has a new treasure chest with all the Manamons you can pick up in the wild that'll appear on my screen. Also the bot currency for ! boss and all that. I want to do more with that. I always mean to, and I just don't get around to it. But I am going to change my currency system from what it was before, where I was using Stream Elements. I think I am going to fully embrace Streamlabs and use more of their functionality where people can earn more Manamons, but do something a little different with Manamons than what I was doing previously. I'll still eventually have the Suggest a Game category, I'm sure. That will definitely return. That was a fun sort of thing for... it actually caused me to have to play different games. But I had it priced way too low, and I was playing way too many games.
Hold on to your hats. We're being raided.
Oh, no kidding. Wow. Give me a heart attack, why don't you? What is this, Fizzbolts? Welcome on in. Thank you so much for that raid. How unexpected. And also, that alert gets me every single time. Woo. All right. Well, my goodness. Yeah. Wow, look at this. Moradrex and Ardelia and N7 Delta Force and Fizzy. Thank you all so much. Use the blue shell. I love it. I got to use 2 this time, but I also had 1 get me. So welcome on in, everyone, and I hope that you've had a wonderful stream hanging out with Fizzbolts. Definitely nice to see you all here. Thank you so much. We're playing a little bit of Mario Kart Super Circuit as I make my way through the entire series, including the arcade game, which will be live streamed from an arcade. It's basically what we're working on.
Thanks for joining the Friends of Mana.
Moradrax, thank you so much. And here's a little bit about me as well. So we've just made it through the first of these special unlocked cups that are all these Super Nintendo levels, all the Super Nintendo courses. And we played as DK, because that's the only character... Or no, I guess we haven't played as Bowser yet. Oh no. Bowser's terrible in this game. Oh no. Bowser's so hard to control. Oh gosh. Okay. Bad things are about to happen. But yes, welcome on in, everyone. So Fizzy, what were you playing? And thank you so much for that raid. Again, we have to do 50cc for these because I've not unlocked the other courses. I actually, I was explaining before, you need to get 100 coins in every cup for each of the CC iterations in order to unlock these special cups. And I only just got this game. This is a new one for me. I hadn't owned it before. So go to the extra cups. So that was the first of the extra cups. But you have to go in each of these. You have to get 100 coins cumulative over all of the courses in order to unlock these extra cups. So if you go back, if I go to 100cc, you'll see. I haven't even tried it yet. 100cc, I just have... We'll just go Bowser again. Yeah, they're all... as if we don't know what it's going to be, right? But they're all grayed out. So anyways, that's the way that works. But my main point in this series is to showcase all of the different races so people get to see what they looked like across the different iterations. And this is the first game in the series that actually has... Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I gotta exit out of this. This is the first game in the series that actually has classic cups. So I'm pretty excited to show these off. But, of course, I have to quit because I got a little excited. And you were playing some Stardew Valley. Oh, nice. Been working on a farm that I want to fill with a bunch of goats. Oh my goodness. Well, you goat girl. So how's it going? How far are you in the goat procurement endeavor? And Delta's been trolling you along the way. Perfect. Oh, that pun command. Thank you, Fizz. That's a perfect pun command. Well, that is terrific. Yeah, actually, I'm excited. I'll be playing some more Stardew this week as well. Last couple Saturdays we had off, and so this Saturday will be the return of our Stardew Valley played with Arcane Seamstress, Mr. Dacre, and Umber Quiaz, our Sleepy Time farm. So I'm starting to understand, but it's funny, yeah. Gotta remember where it all began, Fizz, because you were the one who instructed me in all of my Stardew Valley ways. That first initial farm, which I think I got about 4 days through, that was all you. And Maury, thank you so much for that follow. I sure do appreciate that, and I hope that I'll see you much more in the future. Definitely, you're welcome to come, to lurk, to stay, to hang out, whatever you want. As you probably already saw, I like to play a lot of Nintendo games, but as you've heard, there's Stardew Valley in the mix as well. And of course, you can see my schedule on my website or on Twitter and all that good stuff. But have a great night. Thanks for the follow, and I'll catch you later. And Delta, how goes the trolling? Okay. So again, you can see these are gonna start looking pretty samey, you know? This is still the same background, although I do like this background. I like the trees and everything. And boom, there we go. What season year are we in that playthrough? The Sleepy Time Farm? I think we've made it to... Oh, gosh. You know, that's a great question. I don't even really remember, Fizz, if I'm honest. I think we just entered spring, and I don't remember if it's like the second year, maybe? I know we've unlocked that other desert area, so we're pretty far through, I guess. But I'm not really totally sure. And Gabe, welcome on in. How are you doing? Mario Kart indeed. Exclamation mark special will actually tell you a little bit more about what I am doing today. But essentially, it's the third game in the franchise as I try to play through all of it. And also, I just want to point out that the overlay there with the Game Boy Advance, that's all actually done by me. That was a photograph of my Game Boy Advance SP, which I'll show you between races here. And then I just popped it into Photoshop to make all of the shaded gradient fills, all the shapes, all that good stuff. I can't talk anymore. This always was a tricky course on the Super Nintendo. This one, I think, is the most improved graphically over the Super Nintendo, because the Super Nintendo area was just so muddy and kind of bland, but this has that nice mesa look in the background. It reminds me of Sunset Riders. Oh gosh, oh gosh. Ah, no! Gabe says the overlay looks nice. Thank you, Gabe. I appreciate it. I'm really happy with it because it really looks like the Game Boy Advance, you know? So I am playing on the Game Boy Advance player with my Smash Brothers GameCube controller. I do have the one that's not Smash Brothers, but today it's the Smash Brothers one. But yeah, I think it's the second year, Fizz, on Stardew. I honestly can't really remember because I just go one day at a time. I just do what people tell me to do. I mostly mine things and mind my own business. Oh, I was gonna do a thing between stages and I didn't do it. Oh, I was gonna show my Game Boy Advance SP. I gotta do it next time. All right, I'm delaying this. Ah! I love the little squeaky effects on the course. It always is eerie. Oh my gosh. Oh, they're right behind me. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. No! Ah! Darn it. Bowser is so slow to accelerate in this. But who here has played Super Circuit, by the way? This one, as I explained before, is new to me. I'll go ahead and repeat for the sake of everyone who came with the raid, and anyone who's just popping in now or who popped in a little bit later. But I went through a time where I felt that, and my family as well, felt that video games were just becoming too much of an obsession. It was something that I was, unfortunately, playing too much of, and as a result, we decided to do a tech fast. You know, now today that's real popular with cell phones and things like that, but back in the day we just decided, you know, no TV, no video games. And I actually found that it was so nice in so many ways. I actually went for a full year, not just the summer. Ultimately, I, of course, did get back into video games, but with a healthy balance, which was something I needed, and that distance away from them helped me to gain. I would say at the point before, I was definitely obsessed with video games. But that meant that the Game Boy Advance and GameCube era kind of passed me by. I didn't really experience those games. It was towards the end of the N64 era that I stopped playing, and then wasn't until later. And then I was really playing more of the older games again to get back into video gaming. And it wasn't until the Wii and the DS where I finally started to play all of the Game Boy Advance and GameCube games again, which honestly, it could not have worked out better. Nintendo's backwards compatibility was perfect for me. It was exactly what I needed, because I missed out on the Game Boy Advance, but was able to play it with the DS. And then I missed out on the GameCube, but was able to play it on the Wii. So, man. And now the Wii U, I guess, being backwards compatible with the Wii, that is nice because you get a nice HDMI signal and everything with it, but I still play on the Wii anyways. Most of the games I think look better on a CRT, so I connect through standard definition inputs. But for capturing Wii games, it is nice to have that Wii U, and of course all the Wii U games. And for the 3DS, I do enjoy playing some DS games on there. But in terms of just realizing that I had this whole new world, I started buying all of these used games at this comic store that actually oddly had used video games. And I'd get all these GBA games and GameCube games and play them on my DS and Wii, and it was just like, wow, everything's so cheap now. You can get DS games for like $30. And sometimes you'd even get new ones on clearance for like $5 or $10. And then you also have all these inexpensive $5, $10 Game Boy Advance and Wii games, or GameCube games, I mean. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Ms. Mana got me my first DS, a white DS Lite, and it was a birthday gift, and it had I also got Phantom Hourglass, and then our Wii was a family purchase, and we of course had to get Mario Kart Wii because that was the thing we needed to do. So Gabe likes the shading and everything as well. Fizz has to be right back for a minute, so I'll wait to answer her question about these courses. She asks if they're the same courses as on the Super Nintendo, or is it the N64? So I'll share that in a moment when she returns. And another one down, my friends. All right. So, I believe now, because we played as Mario, we played as Luigi. That's right, we played as Luigi. We played as Princess Peach, right? I think. Did we? Have we not played as Princess Peach yet? We played as Yoshi, we played as Toad, we played as DK, Wario, and Bowser. I don't know I feel like we may not have actually seen Princess Peach yet, so... Gabe says, everything is so flat, but I find it kind of appealing. The courses and everything, I think that's probably what you mean, and I know what you mean. I do as well. So, I'll explain this again, and if I have to repeat myself for Fizz, I will. So, these are the extra tracks. So, I've gone through now all of the... sorry, actually. Hang on. These are the normal cups. Okay, back. Fizz is back. Perfect. Okay. So in this game, these are all of your standard cups that you have in 50cc, 100cc, 150cc. Right here. These are all your standard ones. But then, if you get gold in everything, and then go back and replay these and get 100 coins across all of the four courses in a cup, you unlock the extra cup. And you have to do this for every class, every 50cc, 100cc, 150cc. Once you've done that, you unlock it. So I've only unlocked the 50cc ones so far, but you get a total of 5 cups that have all of the courses of Super Mario Kart for the Super Nintendo. The thing is that in the Super Nintendo game, there are only 4 cups, and that third... the 3 being the original ones, and then the 4th special cup. So in this game, because the courses are the same, you still have 5 laps, but instead of 4 cups with 5 courses each cup, you have 5 cups with 4 courses each cup. So they have rearranged them a little bit. And I think what they've done, I'm not sure, but I think they've kind of rebalanced it by having like some of the harder ones later and also like a good mix in here. So that's sort of the way it works. So yeah, it's really cool because you actually get the entire contents of the Super Nintendo game right here, bam, on the go for the GBA. So oh, and speaking of which, this is what I wanted to show. This is here, I should show it properly a little bit more like than just this tiny little dot in the corner, right? Let's go ahead and show it properly. But this is the version here you go of the Game Boy Advance SP that is forward lit instead of backlit. But I like that because the original Game Boy Advance games were designed with that in mind, that like not all the games are going to look quite as fancy, or sorry, not all the games are going to look quite as what am I trying to say? As bright and vibrant, not fancy, but yeah, they're not going to look quite as bright and vibrant. And so what they did is they boosted the saturation on a lot of the games to compensate for that. Meaning when you go back and play it on the backlit Game Boy Advance SP or a DS Lite or DS or something like that, then you're going to actually see it oversaturated. And this game on my DS Lite looks oversaturated, but on this here, it's actually pretty nice, if not a little bit too soft, a little bit too undersaturated. So the question of how I'm playing, there we go. I will have to I'll have to share those secrets. So what I'm actually doing is I am playing through something called the Game Boy Advance Player. So I'm actually using a GameCube controller. It's Game Boy Advance Player is attached to my GameCube. And here, let's make sure I enter the right one here. Yeah. It sits at the bottom of my GameCube. And then I'm able to use the controller here, or with a appropriate cable. I don't have one handy, if I may not even own one. But I wasn't going to go buy one until I was sure I don't own one. With that cable, you can attach a Game Boy to the system and use the controller, use the Game Boy system as the controller. But that is what I'm running this through. So I'm running it off of the Game Boy Advance Player on the GameCube. And then I'm running it through a device that doubles the lines of old retro consoles. So I'm running this through S-Video, and then line doubling it and spitting out an HDMI signal, which means that I can play it lag-free on the monitor in front of me, and also, of course, feed it to my capture device, which is capturing it. And then because it's a smaller sort of screen, it looks real nice and sharp and everything too, because it's actually basically a line doubled up to 720p, and then fitting inside of that overlay. But I think it works. I kind of like having it be smaller because these games were meant to be on a small screen, so I don't want to have it be too big and look kind of just way blown up and kind of just too weird with like these big jaggy pixels. I think this looks more authentic. So I'm pretty pleased with it. Oh gosh. Setup sounds complicated, Gabe says. I mean, like everything with streaming, I learn as I go, and I accumulate little things here and there to make things better. So yeah, that's essentially what's going on here. And you know, because I want to play more retro, and I want it to look nice and crisp, I felt like this was a worthwhile investment. And it doesn't involve modding my systems at all. That's another nice thing. And Fizz says, oh, hold on a second. Don't the GameCubes have that one opening at the bottom? Is that what it's for? That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, there are like 3 little things you can clip off on the bottom of the GameCube. And you clip off one of them to feed in there's like a little plastic box that is on the top of the pedestal of the Game Boy Advance player, and it plugs in to one of those slots at the bottom of the base of the unit, the base of the GameCube. So it's really pretty ingenious. And then it's just got like a little place to plug in that one cable for the Game Boy Advance if you're using that as a controller. It also has a port for the link cable if you're linking another system. And it also has a little tab that ejects the Game Boy Advance game. And this also plays Game Boy and Game Boy Color games as well, which is good because it's probably going to be my go-to method for both of those systems unless the game has a Super Game Boy enhancement in palette and border. Oh, I should have had my banana out. Darn it. Or if it's a Game Boy Color game, which just does not run on a Super Game Boy. But it's a neat little gizmo. I have eventually I ended up buying a GameCube. I kind of never really thought I would at first, because I was like, oh, I have a Wii, so I don't need one. But then one time I was at a retro convention, and it was like $5, and the person had like cleaned the lens and everything, and he's like, yeah, I'm just trying to get rid of, I have a couple GameCubes, I'm just trying to get rid of them. And I was like, man, I'll take it for $5. And it had the cables, the AC adapter, and the, I think it might not have had audio video cables, I'm not sure. But I had purchased a few extra, or had a few extra of the S-Video ones, and it takes the same cable as the Super Nintendo. So I had the GameCube, and then Bob, who I'm playing Secret of Mana with.
Everything that has transpired has
hi!
according to my design.
Oh!
It was I who allowed your rebel friends to subscribe to your channel.
Waz, thank you for 10 months of subscribing.
Oh, hi.
Yay! And look at that! That is our first glimpse of that sub badge. So I have all of the different sub badges are all different mana potions in different bottles and things like that. And so you can see there Waz with the cool blue one. And boy, I'm telling you, I like the way that this looks. Now it's the first time I'm seeing it in person, and I think they just look real nice, real neat. So Waz, thank you so much for that. There's something I was thinking about here. Oh, Fizz says, I remember having a cable that would plug into the controller port. Oh, I'm about to go into the water. I better read this. So I remember having a cable thing that would plug into the controller port or another one, and I would use that to hook up my Advance to use for the island thing on Animal Crossing. Oh, okay. I think that's the same thing. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too knowledgeable. Like I said, I didn't have this. So, yeah. I guess it's like the link cable, Waz says. That must be what it is. Yeah, and how's the stream going? It's going really well, Waz. Thank you. Making it through all of the Super Mario Kart courses. And, okay, yeah, the link cable. That's what it is. Oh, gosh. Okay. And Gabe says it sounds like there'd be a lot of wires involved, but Fizz points out that actually there aren't any. Because the whole unit... So, the Game Boy Advance player came out, and it was meant to fit on the original GameCube. And so Bob had one, and I'd wanted one for a long time. So I had this black GameCube, and he had this black Game Boy Advance player, and I borrowed his for a few streams back in the day. Some of you might remember a couple of games I played, including the Star Wars Apprentice of the Force trilogy. And I played that on Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. And I borrowed his his Game Boy Advance player. Actually, I just borrowed his whole GameCube with it attached because it was easier. But eventually he said that he was okay with, I told him, I said, man, if you're ever thinking about selling it, because I had priced it and looked at it various places, and it's obviously on eBay, but people start hiking up the prices, and ultimately I like buying things that have a little bit of a history or a story, and he decided to sell me his. So I have this really cool matching, it's a black Game Boy Advance player, it matches my GameCube. I have a black GameCube, black Game Boy Advance player, and white controllers. I have 4 of these, 2 that are the Smash Brothers, and 2 that are the Wii version that was just branded Nintendo at the top. So that's kind of cool. I think that the Wavebird did use radio waves, Gabe, I'm pretty sure. And yes, that was revolutionary. Everything used to have cables back in the day, though, that is true. Other than, like, wireless Wavebird controllers. Yes, another good start. So this, again, this is a little out of order. I think these courses are not in... I'm not even sure what the order is. I wanted to go back and check the Super Nintendo layout and then compare, and I'd have that all prepared for the stream. But because originally I was actually planning on this was going to be a Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu stream with Kuro, but Kuro wasn't able to join me tonight because of a unanticipated work obligation. Oof, that wasn't good. So I switched to do this sooner. I was going to do this next week. And then, of course, we have Double Dash coming up. I'm excited for Double Dash. So I'm kind of playing the Mario Kart games that I haven't really played before. I've played through at least like the 50cc courses on Double Dash. But I am going to have to go back and look and see if there's anything I need to unlock prior to the stream. So I'll have to work on that next. But thankfully, I have the GameCube handy and right next to me, so that's cool. Although I might possibly pick up or find my component Wii cables, because I was starting to pack some of this stuff, and then I realized, uh-oh, I might need that. If I can find my Wii component cables, I might play... Oh my goodness! I'm all over the place on this course. Oof, still in first somehow? And yet somehow he's still in the lead, Waz says. After that, I don't know. Fizz thought I somehow jumped out of the course there. I don't even know what happened. Mike Tron says, Night man, I'll see you tomorrow. Mike, thank you so much for being here the whole time and just hanging out and lurking with us and all that good stuff. I sure appreciate that. And all the GGs. And Waz still in first. How did he do it? How did he do the thing? I don't know how he did it. He did it somehow. Somehow, of course it's 50cc, so that helps. But yeah, we've got all the 2D Mario Kart games out of the way with this one, because there's a grand total of 2. And then we've got Double Dash coming up, and then after that we have I can't remember what's coming next. I'm still because the logistics involved with the arcade. It probably will be out of order when I play the arcade, but I'll tell you what. First person to give me a name of a character, that's who I'm gonna play, because I've already played all of them. So you can choose, and I'll choose that character. But we are gonna play the arcade Mario Kart game on. Oh, at an arcade. I've talked to the owners and so we're just getting all the logistics. Just need to get the date and everything like that. But yeah, so that's pretty exciting. And there's a Mario Kart mobile game coming out. I'm so excited for that. I saw Fizz with a Yoshi first, and then Gabe with a Toad. I think we're gonna do Toad next, and Waz says Waluigi. So we're gonna do Yoshi and then Toad. That's what we're gonna do. Hold on a second. That's right. So we just did that, right? Yeah, just finished that. So now we're on to this one. All right, here we go. Yeah, Fizz, there's a mobile Mario Kart game coming. By the way, Waz, also, how was your stream and everything? This, I think it's like this upcoming late, I can't remember if it's, I think it's like late summer or fall. I can't remember if it's late summer or fall. There's going to be there's two new games coming out. There's the Dr. Mario mobile game, which I am sure you're excited about. And then there is the, oh gosh, I'm all over the road. This course is tough on the Super Nintendo. But anyway, the Mario Kart mobile game was actually supposed to come out, I believe, this spring, and it got pushed back. So a little bit of a delay. I'm really interested to know more about it, but long story short, it is officially announced. It is officially coming. It has a release window, and we're just waiting to hear more. And honestly, I kind of thought maybe the last Nintendo Direct, the one before the Pokemon Direct, would have included info about this in the Dr. Mario game. So with there not being that, I'm guessing we're going to see a whole mobile Direct here pretty soon, but yeah. Scooter says, hey, Fizzy and Waz. Gabe says, mobile game would be cool, though the controls would probably be odd at first. I don't know that I quite agree, but that's also because early days in mobile gaming, I played a Crash Bandicoot mobile kart racing game. And with motion controls, it's probably going to play very similarly to what you could do on the Wii, or ever since the Wii, actually. Ever since the 3DS, actually. Wait. No, the Wii. Wait. Yeah. Mario Kart Wii came before Mario Kart 7. Yeah. So, ever since the Wii. And I'm sure it's, it's going to be probably pretty tight controls because it's Nintendo. They always, try to put a lot into their mobile games and whatnot. And Fizz wonders what's going to come first, Animal Crossing or the Mario Kart mobile game. Either one, honestly, I'll be happy because both of those are probably going to be like my top games when they come out. I'm so excited. Oh, that was close. Animal Crossing is going to be huge. It's going to be so fun. Uh-oh. 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 Scooter's leaving us hanging? What? Oh, gosh. Scooter's like, I have something exciting, and then just left for like 5 minutes. Princess Toadstool. What was that? She just totally stopped. She's like, yeah, you can win. Go on, Yoshi. Mario throws you down pits far too many times. I'll let you have this one. Or she knows something that we don't know. It's the big chain chomp at the end of this course, isn't there? First one past the finish line gets gobbled up. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, poor Yoshi. Oh, Yoshi. Ah! We hardly knew ye. Oh no. Yeah. Man. If you haven't noticed, by the way, there is a way to do a power slide in this, but you have to basically do like a 90-degree power slide perfectly and then end up going straight, and you get a little boost afterwards. Otherwise, it controls much like the Super Nintendo, where you have to kind of do these fine adjustments, and your hop basically stops you from continuing to slide in that direction. Alright, so... Waz didn't know that there was a mobile Mario Kart game coming. Oh, that's exciting. Okay, so... I'm going to leave people in suspense who are listening in only on what Scooter said. Waz says, definitely a lot of things I expected in the last Direct that never happened. And I did not expect Mario Kart, or Super Mario Maker 2 at all. Ms. Man and I were walking, and I said, the one thing that we're definitely not going to see, and everyone wants, but they're not going to get it, and it's just silly that everyone keeps expecting it, is Super Mario Maker or Super Mario Maker 2, like a port or a sequel. Like, it's not gonna happen. I had all these reasons why and everything. I was so convinced there. I had a little power slide right there. There's another one. And what is it? The first thing in the Direct. I'm like, what? But the most excited I've been in a Direct, or actually in any reveal for a long time, was seeing that amazing Link's Awakening remake reveal. That's exciting. Yes, and Scooter shared something really exciting, which I will read after I continue to play. So I want you to see all these courses here. This is actually one of the best Mario Circuit courses in the original game. It's so well done. And it was the first level, I believe, where you jump over the course. And then, of course, they had to reuse that idea in this one. And that's, you know, something where with the 3D games, it's like it's easy, you know, you just go up a ramp or whatever. But it's pretty cool and clever how they implemented it in this one. Wait, actually, I lied. This isn't the one I was thinking of. I just realized as I went around that bend. JK. This is not the one I'm thinking of. It's a pretty good one, but it's not the one I'm thinking of. So, never mind the mana. There's that little boost. The power slide. Something you never had in Super Mario Kart. Got some more coins. Yeah, overall, everything controls a little more tightly and looks a little bit more fleshed out, and I think this game is definitely worth a replay or a pickup if you have not played it. It is available, I believe, on the Wii U Virtual Console. I think that's what it is. Scooter says, I talked to the owner from my local gaming bar. They want me to be a commenter host of their Nintendo game tournaments like Smash Brothers and Mario Kart. And you'd be able to stream them. Oh, Scooter, that's so exciting. That is really cool. Oh, that's really exciting. Nice. That's going to be about within the next month. Scooter, that's fantastic news. Thank you. Cool, cool. Yeah, Fizz, Super Mario Maker 2 is coming to the Switch. And Gabe agrees Link's Awakening looks cool. Scooter says they also do Mario Kart 64 tournaments. That's really neat. Fizz says that'd be fun to play because I've never had a Wii U. This game? Oh, I'm confused. I'm confused. Oh, yeah. The, are you thinking Link's Awakening? That was on the, yeah, I'm trying to think if that, I think that was available on the Wii U for Virtual Console, but it's a Game Boy Advance game. Waz says, I'm probably misunderstanding the context of that. Waz says, I'm hearing other people were going so crazy about the announcement. Oh, I was so excited. Scooter says, my reaction was priceless. To Mario Maker, I bet, yeah. Is that recorded? I have my reaction to Link's Awakening. If I can pull it up, actually, I'll pull it up real quick for you. I think I can grab it from video producer and clips, right? But I was pretty excited when the Link's Awakening reveal happened. Let's just put it that way. I may have jumped in my seat so much that things were falling. I was crying, actually. I don't know why exactly, but it was so good. Doskados, welcome. Welcome. Ah, yes. Fizz was at work when all the stuff was happening. That's too bad, though, because that was a great direct. Oh, Mario Maker, of course, because it came to the Wii U, and yeah. Fizz, I was thinking Link's Awakening. I was forgetting Mario Maker. Yeah, the Mario Maker was on the Wii U. You're right. It'll be nice to have the game there for sure. So let me find if I can. I think. Yeah, here we go. Mana's first reaction to Link's Awakening, and Mana's hyped. Here we go. Let's see. Share. Copy the video link. Here we go. And Mana's hyped. Share. Copy the video link. There we go. Boom. Done. Now you can see all that in all of its glory, and it's pretty good. It's, if I do say so myself, it's me being very, very excited. Scooter's never played Link's Awakening. Okay, yeah, you're gonna like this. As Waz said, it is a sequel to A Link to the Past. And a very, very fun game. Really well done. That was my first Game Boy game I ever owned. It was for the Game Boy Color. I had Link's Awakening DX. It was also one of the first Game Boy titles I ever played just briefly when a friend had a bunch of Game Boy games and his old brick gray Game Boy. I was at a convention and there was this, I barely even knew him to be honest, but he had this big case with all of his games and his big original Game Boy. And he pulled out, he had DuckTales. I remember playing a little of DuckTales on the Game Boy. I think a little of probably the first Super Mario Land. And Link's Awakening. And I think maybe a little of Kirby's Pinball or something like that. Oh, Nelly. And then it wasn't until years later when a good friend of mine loaned me his Game Boy, his original brick Game Boy. And I borrowed Wario Land and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Fall of the Foot Clan, I think is the name of that. And the Contra game. I don't remember the name totally, but it was like, I believe, Contra Super C, I think. The kind of equivalent from the Super Nintendo game. Look at that. First place. Whew, alright. And so let's see here. Daskados, I'm doing well tonight. Thank you so much for being in here. Fizz had been auto-modded. It says, I know Zelda fans in Fuzzy's Discord were really hyped about it, but I didn't know what it was about. Now you do. Now you do. Scooter, feel free to post your Super Mario Maker 2 reaction. I believe it is... Wait, do you swear in it? I can't remember, Scooter. I think you might be... I don't remember. If so, why don't we say no? Because that could open the floodgates, so to speak, right? Just to try and keep everyone on the up and up. But if not, feel free. I can't remember, though. No swearing. Okay, good. All right. Go ahead then, Scooter. Go for it. And yay, Yoshi came in first. Sweet. The results are saved. And... who next? Oh, Toad. That's who it was. Toad. That's who the other... there we go. Okay. That's fine, Scooter. Go ahead and post it in there. If it's... yeah, it's the one with you and Ginny, right? Yeah. So here we go. We are going for... we've just completed this. This is the last of the cups. The last 4 courses of the Super Nintendo original game. You get all of them. I mean, none of this like doling out 1 or 2 here or there. You get the whole game. Essentially, this is like 2 games in 1. How cool is that? Up to this point, this was the most feature-packed of the games, most likely. I guess you'd say. I mean, it didn't have a battle mode, but it did have the Link mode where you could play and race against someone with a linked Game Boy Advance. And, of course, time trials, which has been a staple of the series. But you've had these 10 cups, actually. That's the most cups, if I'm not mistaken, since... or, well, definitely the most up to this point. And I don't even know if GameCube has that many, so that's pretty cool. Oh my gosh, Gabe says, I have to start packing up for school tomorrow, but my bag is a mess. Oh no, I hate that. I used to just dump my entire backpack and then repack from scratch like every night. I remember that. While it says, Mana, thinking about it, that Link has 3 games. It's a Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, and a Link Between Worlds. Although, actually, I think the Link Between Worlds link has recently been said to be a different link. I'm pretty sure. But there's another link that does, there's actually 2 other games that same link is in, and those are I believe, those are these Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons games. If I'm not mistaken, those are the same link. Though, actually, now that I think about it, I might be wrong on that. I should know this. Just you wait. I'll have all of this down when I do my Legend of Zelda playthrough. Alright. Get our green shell. This track right here looks so good. I mean, it looks very similar to the Super Nintendo, but you've got the little Shy Guy pirate ship in the background just kind of floating on by. How cool is that, right? Something I mentioned about this game, the coins, I don't think they speed you up. However, they do add to your score. So this is the first of the Mario Kart franchise to have a score for your performance. And the top score is 3 stars. Then it goes to 2, 1 star. Then it goes to A through E. I'm not sure if there's anything else. I don't think so. So that was introduced with this game, and the more coins you get, the more points you get towards that 3-star rank. Another little thing is if you run over an item box and you already have an item in your item box inventory, that actually does count as a little bit of a boost towards your overall score. So it's kind of an incentive to not just use all of your items. And Waz says, oh, you're right. So I looked it up. The Link starting in A Link to the Past did the 2 Oracle games, then Link's Awakening. That's right. That's 4 times at least, Waz says. There you go. Look, I remembered a thing. I couldn't remember at the end there because then I started doubting myself because those are 2 games I actually have never played all the way through. And so then I was like, ooh, maybe I'm saying something wrong. There are a few Zelda games I've not yet played, but actually, fun little fact. I had come across a really good deal for a couple of the Zelda titles, the offshoot titles that I did not have yet. And I wanted, because when I do my Zelda playthrough in order, boy oh boy, you're gonna get everything. I mean, I'm talking Link's Crossbow Training, I'm talking about the CDI games, I'm also talking about Tingle's games. Yes, indeed. So, yeah, that's going to be pretty fun. So, I still, though, need a couple of well, like, in keeping with what I said about not really having a Game Boy Advance or GameCube for a long time, I still don't have the Minish Cap, though I have played a good portion of it. I picked it up on the Wii U, but I want to get that game on the Game Boy Advance. But one thing you got to be careful of these days, and it's really annoying to me, is there are all of these copies of the game, these reproductions of the games, selling on eBay with inflated prices as if it was the original. And you got to be careful for that. So I am going to be going this March 30th to the Cowlitz Retro Gamers for Kids convention and doing some filming on location and all of that. And I'm going to be looking for that game there. If nothing else, that's the one I want to get. There are a couple others as well. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's I think it's the GameCube 4 Swords game that I'm missing as well. So I think those 2 are like my top ones I need to pick up. There's some that like are the remakes, but yeah. Fizz likes that reaction, by the way. Link Between Worlds. So, I think the Link Between Worlds is... I think Nintendo recently said it's a different Link, but I always thought it was the same, but I don't know. I could be wrong. Gabe says it's the same Link, so I don't know. CDI Link is the best Link. Don't at me. Right on, Gabe. Man, that CDI is there for you. I cannot believe it's still there, but oh gosh, we'll talk. Waz says, I looked it up. The Link starting in A Link to the Past did the 2 Oracle games, then Link's Awakening. Oh, I did not do it. And Waz loves Minish Cap. Awesome. Yeah, I really enjoyed what I played of it. But I'm also really looking forward to the Phantom Hourglass because I love that game. As far as CDI, I actually have some strong nostalgia for Zelda, the Zelda game, the 3rd game in the CDI franchise, the one that has pre-rendered graphics and you play as Zelda. Oh, shoot. There we go. No! Because that actually is a game I played when it was new. I, believe it or not, had a friend who owned a CDI. I don't know why, but he did. Or rather, actually, his brother did, but the two of them did together, but his brother ultimately kept it. And I think paid for most of it, if not all of it. But, yeah, I really enjoyed that game, actually. Anyways, one of these days, I will get myself a CDI and those games, but those games are pricey. Oof. So that's a big part of why I have put off the Zelda playthrough. I want to make sure I have everything set up and my best ways of capturing all of the games. Okay, well that is a fun course. From Super Nintendo, I really do enjoy this one. I really like the shortcuts you're able to do around the course. It is interesting to have the map right there next to you as opposed to the Super Nintendo game where you're looking at it from above. You have actually maybe a little bit more of a sense of how the general layout of that track is, but you know. And then here we go. One of the best, it's like probably my second favorite Rainbow Road for like nostalgic reasons. That said, I actually think, and you can tell me what you think, that this looks far better than the Super Nintendo. I love what they did with the special moon and clouds in the background. And I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the only time we see this background in all of this game. So they actually created a special background for the Rainbow Road that is the classic Rainbow Road. And this is just classic, right? I mean, it's so good. And you see the little transparency effects. You can see the stars shining through on the racetrack. It's so great. So, I had thought the first time we saw this track remade was in the Wii U version, or Wii U entry, the Mario Kart 8. As a matter of fact, here it was, hiding all along in Super Circuit. Plays much like it does on the Super Nintendo. However, I will say, a little bit easier. Probably thanks to the improved turning mechanics of this game. Because otherwise, it is identical. Although, actually, is it missing a few bumps? Or are those just from the Wii U, or from Mario Kart 8? I cannot remember. I am now lapping people, so that's always fun. We will continue to lap. I mean, I might actually be able to lap everyone? Possibly? I mean, we're definitely, like, in to the people who are, like, 4th and above. So go us. Yeah. Oh, but then Mario passes me last second. No. All right. Oh no! Oh my gosh! Well, this says, ooh, Rainbow Road. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? Waz has to go to bed, so let me read this first. Have a good night, everyone. I need to get to bed. Waz, thank you so much for coming by. Thanks for stopping by and joining us for this end of this stream. Hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for thanks for the resub. And for being awesome. And Scooter says, let's see. I think no one has picked up the CDI because of the price. I think you're right. But 15 games plus link game and original box. I know, right? Definitely going to have to look at it. Oh no, Fizz says, and I kind of missed it all. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go and we'll play the time trial of it, Fizz. Waz says, no you, I mean it. Thanks for those Art of M cheers. Good night, my friend. Yeah, I'll add a couple of hearts your way. And then Gabe says, oh yeah, Mana, I guess you haven't heard. Right when I was on a streak for streams, my CPU killed itself. And I'm so sorry to hear that is the case because, well, first of all, Gabe, I actually didn't know you were streaming, but that's good to know because now it means I'm going to have to check out Gabe streaming. I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to do the thing. So what have you been streaming? But I'm so sorry to hear, though, that that it's... oh, look at that. I am following. Maybe I did know that. Gabe, I'm just being awful at following people lately, but I'm so sorry to hear that. And Fizz has to go too. Well, that's all right, because we have reached the end of all the stages. We're going to have another final ceremony here, and you have seen everything that all of the courses that are in this fantastic title. I gotta tell you, I think this is a very great entry in Mario Kart. I'm super glad that it exists, and I'm super glad that I've gotten a chance to explore it. Thanks, of course, to the to the fact that I was doing this playthrough of everything, and I wanted to try all of the games, so I had to buy it. That works, right? So there we go. We are saving stuff, and here we go. Gabe says, Splatoon 2, 100%. It's been fun. I've been working on my RN until my new CPU comes and new stream assets. Oh, nice! But what is RN? I don't know what that means. So, we have saved the game. We've got all of the stuff. We've got the credits rolling in the background. My friends, this has been a real fun night. Perfect 3 hours to get through all of the courses, and we had some good chats along the way. Oh, Gabe says right now. I'm working on just Splatoon 2, 100% right now. Gotcha. And working right now until my new CPU comes and the new stream assets. Nice. Well, Gabe, I'm excited. I actually saw your offline message there. It looks great. So I'm going to definitely try to check you out once everything, once we get some normalcy, we move all that stuff. I'm sure I'll have more opportunities for that. But let me know if you ever need any support or insights for streaming. But best of luck on all of that. So, well, we have come to the end of our stream. And the idea I would like to propose is next week we will probably play Double Dash. I think that's what we're going to end up doing. So we'll continue our Mario Kart franchise playthrough then. Of course, here's special so you know what to expect. I think my final thoughts on this game are it's fantastic. It's definitely a fun Mario Kart game. As if there's such a thing as a not fun Mario Kart game. This one really holds up. It was really cool to play it again as if it was, like it's a new entry in the series. Even though it's an old one, it's new to me, and I really enjoyed it. And Gabe is excited for Double Dash. I am too, because that's one I haven't really played a whole heck of a lot. So I'm looking forward to that. This week, we have a real fun Wednesday stream where we are going to be streaming some Secret of Mana. That playthrough is going to continue on, where I'm going to be playing with Bob and Kuro. So Secret of Mana, if you want to find out all of my secrets, come there. We are going to be entering the lands of fire and ice. And finally, so we'll continue on with that. Our 3-player playthrough. I've got the 3 controllers next to me, the system next to me. Good stuff. Friday night, I'll be playing some Terraria with Hacks and Snacks. We're getting very close to the end of our Terraria run. And then Saturday, a return to Stardew Valley. So all good things ahead. I'm very excited. and think that we've got a real great lineup right now of streams. Selecting start stuff is going to be continuing on. Of course, I'm going to be doing at least once or twice a month on that channel as I'm trying to make time for these previous commitments that were collaborations that I already had, and for the collaborations that are happening in person with people who I'm not going to have a lot of time left to stream with in person. So that's my priority right now, but as you know, I've already snuck in, usually it's like 2 or 3 selecting start streams a month rather. We just had a couple new members join us, so you can check them out as well. Great channel. I'll just mention that once real quick as well. Selecting start, in case you want to know, you can feel free to give that channel a follow, see me there, and a bunch of other great family-friendly streamers on a daily basis. For me, that's all that I have time for. If you liked what you saw and you don't currently follow, please do consider so. If you are a fan of Nintendo, retro, and indie, I think you'll like what we do around here. We like to keep it nice and squeaky clean and fun. And as always, do good and be well. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.